So as you were saying, you pretend you're stupid. And then you lull people in.
And lull people in. Yeah. Yeah. Well, people make assumptions about being a fighter and, you do construction, and then I'll just let them talk in circles about what they think. And then guess what? I'm way smarter than you think.
He's a sharp dude.
All right. So today I'm joined by Rob Larson and Victor Diaz. And Victor forced friendship between us by showing up to my gym unannounced several times. But they also just attended the Guns and Geese camp down in New Orleans. It was fucking rad.
Super
and
cool.
Again, in true form, peer pressuring me and not taking no for an answer. Kept me up till 2 a.m, force feeding me whiskey one night.
First night.
We had to set a precedent for how this camp was going to go.
And now we're friends. And I figured it'd be a good episode to talk about the camp. And then also just savage dudes in Seattle. Our voices need to be heard.
Hell yeah,
our city's full of pussies and faggots.
Yep.
Completely true. Yeah, it was funny. I mean, the way you're kicking it off, I have this knack where, well, one, after your video, I sent you the one after the little fight I got in, and realizing you were right up in Lake Stevens, I was like, I gotta go meet this fucking dude. It was like a calling, because on your podcast, like, yo, come train, we're open. And same thing at Ivan's, we're open. But I was like, I gotta go meet him. So I started going up there once a week. I was like, him and I are gonna be friends. He doesn't know it yet, but we're gonna make it happen.
He was on a hunting trip with me, texting you. I was blown away.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear about the hunting trip. What were you guys hunting?
Elk. We didn't see a fucking thing.
Yeah, that hunting out in the Forest Peninsula, that's tough. That's tough
it was, and we also drank a fifth the night before my first day of hunting ever. It was pretty rough.
You're noticing a trend here.
That's how good stories start.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it was a good time. But no, we went out there and it was 3 days humping the mountains hard, and we came across some good game trails, but just didn't come across them. It was a dry year for a lot of people. So,
bro, I've talked about it a lot. Like, there's this misconception that you think because I can shoot a rifle, I'm tactical, that somehow like correlates with hunting. Nope. I mean, obviously, once you find the animal, you need to be able to shoot it, right?
Right.
That's the easy part.
That's the easy part.
And
it's the fun part too. Like, we were bow hunting.
Yep.
Oh, so yeah, that's
dude. I mean, it was like 6 months of prep. I bought a bow and I'm shooting with this guy all the time, and then didn't even knock an arrow the whole time. And I was like, I might shoot one in a tree just to leave my mark in this forest.
Props to the kid though, because he said the fall before that, he said, I'm going to go hunting with you next year.
He didn't believe a fucking thing I said.
I didn't believe him.
He didn't believe me.
I was like, bro, there's a lot of steps between now and you hunting that you got.
When I look my friends in the eyes and I say something, best damn believe that's going to happen. Like, I mean that shit. Yeah.
Bro, you have to stand by that shit. Mm-hmm. You have to. That's exactly what gives you credibility or diminishes your credibility.
100%.
Like, I remember my buddy, shout out Charles Dara, porn star of the year. He's fucking rad. He's a rad dude. I love that guy. He's Joao's other black belt. I think I told you about this, right?
Yep.
And so he hit me up a couple of years ago when he turned 40, and he was in Big Mountain. Is that what it's called?
I'm not familiar.
Big Mountain, Montana.
Oh, Big Sky.
Big Sky?
Yeah.
I think it's Big Mountain.
It might be.
Maybe. I don't know.
He's been out to Montana and killed a 7-point out there.
Oh, really?
Sexy. Yeah, we'll show you
and
the
so,
later.
anyways, he's like, hey, I'm turning 40 and I'd love for you to be here. And this was like a couple months in advance. And I was like, I'll be there, bro. I wouldn't miss it. And then it just went to the back of my mind. And I never thought about it again until like a couple days before. He's like, looking forward to seeing you. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. And I was like scrambling to get like plane tickets. And I was busy too with other shit, but I was like, dude, you said it.
Yep.
You said you'd go there. And so I booked the trip just for one night.
Yeah.
And hit the mountain with him for one day. And I was like, all right, my obligation's fucking fulfilled. You know?
Dude, you have to. I mean, and there's this thing where, and Rob knows this, the people that are super close to me, like, especially through jiu-jitsu, I don't really have any in-between friends. I'm pretty black or white. It's like, I will kill for you, and I would die for you, or I don't fucking know you or like you. It's bipolar, right? And so yeah, man, it's kind of that same thing. So you got to stand by your word, because what the fuck else you got, No,
I like that though, man, because we're in a time in society where everybody is supposed to like everybody.
Nope.
You know, and I'm not saying that you need to be a dick to people that aren't part of your tribe, but find your fucking tribe and be loyal to them.
100%.
And everybody else is like, cool, but I don't fucking owe you anything.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, I used to be a fat little chunky kid, but even then my dad was like, if you're friends with everyone, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
He was like, how can everyone like you? I was like, yeah, that always stuck with me. Then once I figured out how to fight, I was like, oh, this makes way more sense now.
So you were the fat one as a kid, and I'm the fat one now.
Dude, that picture you shared in the caption had me dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought you took it down too.
I told Vic when I got here that I'm going to start selling a hypertrophy program. That's going to be the picture on the front. $8.99 a month.
You go from Anderson to Rob.
Yeah, that's right. Before and after.
So if anyone's wondering, on my Instagram, I shared a picture when we were in Louisiana with all of our crew down there, and all these guys are just yoked. And I look at myself, I'm like, dude, you got fucking dad bod going on. So I was like, dude, now I know what it feels like to be the fat friend.
Dude, that was so
Lappin's
funny.
like, what is he, 42 or 43?
43.
Ripped.
Dude, shredded. Yeah. I saw him with the shirt off. I was like, damn, even I'm jealous.
Oh, yeah. Well, bro, but that's the thing. And I talk about this a lot. That's why surrounding yourself with people that are better shooters, people that are fitter, people that are leaner, people that can strangle you, all that stuff, when you're around a group of men like that, makes you want to be better.
100%.
And like, yes, I'm joking, calling myself the fat friend because I know I'm not fat per se. But I'm
to us, you are.
But I'm the weakest link in that picture. You know what I'm saying? I'm the weakest link in that picture.
Joshua's going to feel good about that because he was looking at himself. He went and hit the gym Sunday. His legs are,
But that's why I said Guns and Geese 2.0s May 25th. I told Lappin and Josh, I said, I'll be fucking yoked when I come back down. Because I'm like, you have to, if you surround yourself with people like that, it makes you want to be better. Because my wife tells me all the time, she's like, if 95% of American men woke up in your body, it'd be the greatest fucking day of their life. I said, I don't give a fuck about the 95% that are fatter and weaker than me. I'm chasing the 5% that are better than me.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Well, then that was the coolest thing about that trip is we all became friends. It was like the six of us, had this little sidebar where we're talking shit to each other. It's like, yo, we understand this and we're part of each other's tribe now. And it's like, hey, I'm going to make myself better. Even me, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to let these guys pass me, or like, I got to get better. Like, yeah, it was great.
No, and we're actually going to start to include that in the marketing of Guns and Geese, because there's a lot of places you can go learn to shoot and do jiu-jitsu. With that said, you're not going to learn by guys like Lappin or Joao.
Right.
You're not going to. Those guys have something that most instructors don't. If you go sign up for like a tactical firearms course anywhere local, it's going to be some 60-year-old guy that was in the Marine Corps 40 years ago that wears a red range shirt that has the words instructor on the back of it. And he's going to have a belly and he's going to be going, actually, and it's going to be an experience that's like turns you away from tactics. Whereas Lappin's really good at what he does. And he's one of the guys
100%
on and off the range.
It was crazy meeting him for the first time. We were all talking in the back, right? And it was, we flew in and we trained that night before the rest of the camp got there at his gym.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So we trained Nogi that night, and I see you, we're chatting in the back. I met Joao, and I come out and I hadn't met Lappin yet. And the rest of the camp is there. And he's like, oh, you must be Vic. Like, what's up, man? And I just felt this vibe where I was like, oh, you are one of us. You're going to be part of it. Like kind of Jocko talks about that. There's not this green screen and room in the back. You guys are going and hang out. Like you're right there getting to know everyone that was at the camp.
Well, and so, and that's what I was going to say. The part of the marketing moving forward is going to be like, it's an immersion camp where cadre and students go through this experience together and talk about like, make the bonfire like a scheduled thing.
Right.
Instead of just like, hey, we all had dinner on night one and then we had fucking whiskey and bonfire on night two. That was just kind of organic and fun. Make that part of the official experience.
It has to be.
Because we got hit up a lot, dude, from people that are like, I mean, Carlos talked about it at the fire. He's like, this is what I needed right here. This is what I needed. And guys like us that have a gym that's full of savages, that we surround ourselves with like-minded people, it was still cool and meaningful, but you also have that vibe back home with a certain group of guys. Right. Dude, a lot of guys don't have that. They don't have that,
it's
dude.
Surprising to me.
And gals.
Yeah.
Like, I said, I don't know. I had a girl ask me, said, hey, are females allowed to attend? I said, it's called Guns and Geese, not Guns and Gays.
Dude, you sent me that text. I was in stitches. That was good. Well, it was funny. I thought,
Hey, and if you're gay, please attend. I have gay friends.
Absolutely.
I'm just joking around.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's
special.
not just a guy thing. It's a people thing, that tribal connection. And bro, I guarantee you, not only like you guys in Lappin are going to have a friendship.
100%.
There's other friendships
yeah.
that were forged there that will last a lifetime.
Dude, one of the guys, shout out to Jeff. He works construction. He's like 32. We found each other on Instagram afterwards. He's been on the path, right? He's a white belt, maybe only training 2 or 3 months, but he's lifting. He's trying to do better in his business and his life. And we're like, oh, we're now part of this tribe. We may be on opposite sides of the country, but we're both getting after it in our respective fields. Like, dude, that's a benefit of that camp is just come across like-minded people. It was awesome, man.
I was gonna mention that I thought it was cool that I went to Louisiana this time, and as you know, we had talked about doing more Guns and Geese up at the Pacific Northwest, but I know if it was in the PNW that I would want to drive home and see my family or something like that. And the fact that I was in Louisiana, like, hey, we're doing these things, all these things, you know, waking up early, bonfire, doing jiu-jitsu, all that stuff. I thought that was really cool because it got me away from everything I'm comfortable with.
No, it's interesting you say that because when I landed, I instantly got like the nostalgic feel of attending a military school. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm away from my family. I'm away from all my personal responsibilities. The only thing I have to worry about for the next 3 days is this.
Yep.
And when you can put everything else on the back burner and focus on something that's outside of your norm, it feels fucking good, dude.
Dude, that was, I mean, even for me, that was one of the high points because I've been single for a long time, right? All my good friends, like, a lot of them are older than me. My brother's married. They have different obligations. So when I spend time with them, I just want to BS and hang out all night, right? I don't have anything else to do.
Other than train. Yeah, I'm well aware. I had to kick you guys out.
We'll get into that, but it was funny because for me to see my brother and one of my best friends to relax and just be actually present, it was awesome. Like, hey, we're here for the next 4 or 5 days together. Like, we're just enjoying this, and then you go home, take care of your shit. It was great. It was super cool.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of people that are local saying, hey, when you do one in Seattle, I'm in. And I'm hoping to capture that same vibe. Because it's just like you said, Rob, like, oh, well, my wife said if I'm home by 7:30, she can still make dinner tonight. No, fuck that. That's not the experience we're chasing,
right?
You know? And the property that we got for Guns and Geese Pacific Northwest, bro, we're going to build campsites and cabins and stuff. And my gym's 12 minutes from there. So between range and grappling, it's all going to be in one location.
It's an actual immersion camp.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And that'd be great. It's funny because, and someone from the UK can correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard kids don't go to camps in Europe. Adults go to camps, right? You're actually able at the age to appreciate what it is, and you get away because we need that. So kind of same thing. We're forming our tribe, like, hey, full immersion. Yeah. It's epic, man. It was great.
And then, we've been kicking around different ideas, but how far do we take what the training consists of? Because everybody should know how to stop an arterial bleed.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. Everybody should know how to tie a proper knot.
Land nav.
Yeah.
And you could turn it into a week course where it's like just condensing a bunch of military 101 courses, and you leave there again. And I'm very open about this because I hate self-defense seminars. I fucking hate it, dude. You can't train for 3 hours and be proficient in fucking anything. But with that said, you can get exposed to it. And I like to sell it as we're exposing people to these different things. Now, you can gain a skill set. People are better shooters when they left there than when they arrived.
Yep.
But with that said, now it's incumbent on you to take what was taught and continue to drill it and continue to train it.
It was so cool to see some of the white belts where I was helping them out and the light bulb going off in their eyes, like, oh my God. One, this is something that they realizing they would get fucked up in a fight, right? So
yeah. Bro, that's the initial part of learning about fighting is, oh, I can't fight.
Yeah.
I thought I could, I can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the few guys I saw, I was like, I bet I could have called them out, like, you're going to stick with it. You're going to stick with it. I mean, it was cool that you guys put that on and drew those people in. Yeah. Crazy.
No, it's rad, man. And even if a quarter of those guys stick with it,
that's a win.
That's a fucking win, man.
That's a huge win. Yeah. I mean,
and that was a big part of us deciding, let's include a gi in the cost of admission, because when you go home and that thing's sitting on the back of your fucking chair, you look at it and you're like,
real nice gi.
Dude, shout out to Greg Lappin's wife. She did a great job with that logo. That shit is sick.
yeah, bro.
And that Moya gi is soft.
Moya, yeah, dude. Moya,
soft.
when you're, Moya gis feel like you're in pajamas. So if you're thinking about a gi, go to moyabrand.com. No, but the reality of gis are, the more comfortable they are, the less time you get out of them, you know? And so, and you can go to Moya and you can order really thick ones that feel like you're wearing a suit made of cardboard.
That no one can grab.
Yeah, and they're going to last you in the next 3 centuries. The more comfortable ones, you're going to get a couple years out of them. So you got to decide, what works for you and what you like.
I don't have any soft ones, so that was nice. That was real nice. All competition shit. It was good.
Yeah, and the nicer, softer ones are also lighter. So when you're competing, your gi weight is included in your body weight. So people try and get them as fucking light as they can.
Yep.
Remember that like 7-pound one that Keenan came out with? Skylar had it.
Oh, dude, it was so heavy.
It was like
why the fuck would you wear
it was
this?
so hard to grip, but it's a IBJJF legal gi, but it weighs like 7 pounds because you had to cut more weight.
Yeah. A gi should weigh like 2 something.
Yep.
That's 5 more pounds of sucking water down. Although I don't think people should cut much weight, if any, for jiu-jitsu.
If you cut weight for a jiu-jitsu tournament, fuck you, dude.
I don't know if I feel that strongly about it.
I feel so strongly about it because the few times I've done it, just the way it's set up, right? You're weighing in the same day, and some guys are cutting 10, 15 pounds, and I cut 7 pounds once for a jiu-jitsu tournament, never again, right?
Yeah.
Because I was so dehydrated, I weighed in, took a sip of Gatorade, and fucking stepped on the mat. I was dead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you say same day, it's same minute.
Yeah,
sometimes
it's
like
not worth
as
it.
soon as you weigh in, all right, Matt 2, let's go.
That's why I feel strongly about it.
Oh fuck, it's
that walk over to the mat with your opponent like right in front of you or right behind you, you're just like, oh,
dude, I was more focused on how tired I felt. I was like, I don't even care to grapple these guys right now. I'm just dead. Like cutting weight sucks.
Yeah, but and maybe I'm just a bitch, but in what competition after the match are you not dead?
That's fair.
Yep.
You know?
Fair. Yeah.
I remember when I had, I'll say my first MMA fight out of 2.
Hey, I'm a one-pump chub.
But bro, I was so fucking tired.
Right.
And I talked to Charlie Pearson, who was my coach at the time. And I'm like, dude, there's something wrong with me. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I didn't fucking get in shape. He goes, I'm your fucking coach. I know how in shape you are right now. You are in shape. He goes, how you feel right now? I felt after every single fight my entire career. That's part of fucking fighting.
But my point is you shouldn't feel like that before the fight. That's all I'm getting at. Is not right before.
One thing you said at the camp that I don't know if the guys really took it in as they should have is around the fire pit. You said, as someone that's pretty experienced in fighting and jiu-jitsu, you guys don't know how good you had it this weekend.
Dude, yeah, let's get right into that.
Because that was one of the highlights of that conversation.
Really?
Because I honestly think like you guys and Mike, who was a black belt, I saw you guys with the most experience enjoying the introduction to jiu-jitsu the most.
Dude, that day one fucking changed my life in jiu-jitsu. Well, I'm not a huge fan of the gi, so let's start.
You love the gi.
Dude, Joao's, the way he fucking teaches, I have never experienced before, right? His knowledge of jiu-jitsu, the way he teaches and the way he moves. I was sitting there watching him teach a group of 30 brand new white belts how to shrimp in 4 minutes perfectly. And I had never seen it like that before. It was wild. It was just incredible. No,
and that's, anytime I bring up Joao, I didn't get my black belt under him by accident. When I fucking met him, I was like, oh, okay, this is a different thing. This is going to be my motherfucker, right? And to be that good personally, and then also move like a fucking panther. Mm-hmm. And when I was under him, he was like 230, just fucking
still competing every weekend. Just diesel,
but still could fucking shrimp and just. His shrimping just looks like he's gliding across the mat.
And it's funny, anyone listening that's probably experiencing jiu-jitsu is like, fuck you guys talking about shrimping. Like, no, I can't describe it well enough. I just got my brown belt, and to watch this guy do what he does in a room full of new people, it inspired me. And the way he taught, I had never experienced. So it felt like I was learning those fundamentals as a white belt again. It was
well, and I don't know if you guys remember him saying this, but he goes, part of his goal, because we talked about it. We said there's a lot of experienced guys that signed up, not a lot, but a handful. And he goes, so my goal is to introduce it to the new guys. And he goes, and the guys that are experienced, I'll introduce how to teach it.
Yep. I saw that. I felt it.
It's crazy how many similarities that shooting, jujitsu, really any like big skill that you're gonna have, the fundamentals. And it's crazy because now I feel like an old man. I'm like, fundamentals, do the fundamentals. And like, I mean, but for my first MMA fight, I remember Ivan saying, he was like, just try to focus on like 3 things: focus on a takedown, focus on a sub, focus on throwing straight punches, little things. And I think if you set little goals for yourself like that, just worry about the fundamentals and doing the basics, you'll be successful.
Joao made me realize, and when I rolled with him, feel that I know nothing about jiu-jitsu. I don't know a fucking thing.
That's what those guys do.
Dude, yeah. It was crazy.
And then the other side of it is like, his energy, he knows how to keep it fun.
Yep.
That's, bro, you could be fucking 35-time world champion. If you can't captivate people's attention and keep it lighthearted and fun, it's going to become boring. I don't care how fucking good you are.
He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and a black belt instructor. Like, I've taken jiu-jitsu classes from black belts that I wanted to blow my fucking brains out
That's
afterwards.
Exactly right.
Dude, it's horrible. I was like, how are you teaching right now? Your skill level's there, but you cannot teach.
So I hung out with a couple of guys from camp, Craig and Mike, this weekend as well, and they brought up, they're like, man, why did Joel keep talking about you dragging him into a dark closet? And I said, because he's keeping it fun, dude. They're like, yeah, but he brought it up like 3 times. And I said, yeah, and you remembered it, right?
You remember it.
And you're fucking laughing about it. The other thing that's really important, and it's our program, so I'm going to say it's one of a kind, but dude, I challenge anyone listening to fucking prove me wrong. The synergy between the way Lappin teaches and Joao teaches.
Yep.
It's the same vibe.
It was exactly
you're not going from, okay, well, we're on the range, it feels this way, and then we go on the mats, and now it's kind of, I got to fucking reset, and now we're doing it this way.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the same vibe. It's all business and while enjoying yourself.
I'd be remiss if I did not say that I went down there with a red dot that was not only wasn't zeroed, but I also couldn't use it at all because I'm cross-eyed dominant, left eye dominant,
right-handed
right-hand shooter. And I left there, well,
expert marksmanship,
something like that. I mean, I was shooting the shit out of that thing.
Yeah.
Champion of the shooting competition.
Yeah, day 2.
First day of
the shooting competition. Keegan won. Champion won the second one.
That was
Victor, not champion of the shooting competition.
I was so fucking mad at Rob and happy for him.
But you know what? That was, I mean, that's another thing is the fact that Greg threw in that competition at the end of those days and kind of made things fun, like what you're talking about. Dude, I love the competition when someone's chirping in my ear and I'm trying to make a shot at 50 yards with a red dot.
Here's the thing: is by day 2 and then even on day 3. All like 4 to 6 of us were just talking shit to each other. Oh, yeah. So I couldn't even concentrate. I was like slapping the trigger the whole time. And yeah.
Day 1, we got to tell the story. Everybody's going around introducing themselves like, hey, I love Greg's video.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was the first to say, listen, we envisioned this camp being a conglomerate of me, other Greg, and Joao, where Greg's the guy in the firearms, Joao's the guy in the mats, and then I'm the guy that made the video and has a bunch of Instagram followers, so I can push it out.
You already did your part.
I'm the glue that kind of put this, holds this thing together. And so we have 30 people there, and everybody's introducing themselves, why they're there, how they heard about it. Like, yeah, I saw Greg's video and started following him. Yeah, I saw Greg's video and I was inspired. Yeah, Greg's Instagram. Like, and then it gets to Rob and he's like, I hated your video.
dude, that night at the hotel, Rob was like, do you think he knows I was joking? I was like, yes, motherfucker. Like, obviously he did. Like, we're going to be friends. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's how you test it, right? It's like, I got to throw it out there. I got to give you shit, man. I have to.
Well, it's funny because after that first night, the floodgates opened and now I can't stop talking shit to you. I was like, shit.
And then I watched Rob go up to one of the cadre and grab his ass on the range.
We looked at each other. I was like, oh shit, Rob is comfortable here.
I just needed to move over a couple steps.
But no, back to what you were saying is because I'm a white belt shooter, right? I think I have all the high speed gear and I like making things go bang, right? It's like it's fun.
You're the white belt in the showy roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'm not hating, dude.
I love it. But being around Greg and his instruction, and just like you were saying, you go to the mats, and we spent 4 hours on the range, quick lunch, and we get to the mats, right? It's post lunch, we're a little tired, And the energy Joao brought, you know, made it run super smoothly, and their instruction styles were so similar. It wasn't a deviation of, hey, this guy's nice and slow, and we're just, hey, we're going to kind of pull the trigger like this. No, Lappin's energy is that early in the morning too, just fired up. Yep. Yeah.
And good. Like from the cadre perspective, a few days of that, it gets exhausting. Yeah. And then also hanging out until midnight too. Like we're going on like 4 hours of sleep a night. And like Joao was in the back before it was time to teach jiu-jitsu. He's like, man, I need a 5-minute nap. I just need a reset. And like his eyes are droopy and he's like droning out. And then he gets up and is like, fucking, let's showtime. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you got to be able to do that. When it's time to pull it together, let's go. Yeah. And it takes a certain kind of person to be able to do that. And it's not a show.
Right.
It's like, okay, now it's time to fucking go. Let's go.
Yeah.
And no one in that room knew that 5 minutes earlier he was like struggling to get off the couch. You know,
I always try to maximize every minute I have, whether it's on the mat or on the range. And I know Vic took a little nap on the second day of jiu-jitsu.
We'll get to that.
But
we'll tell the first night. We'll have to tell the night before story so that it seems semi-excusable.
Yeah, but both Joao and Greg do a great job of that, of like maximizing every minute. You know, like we're here to learn, we're here to teach. You know, things like that. It's really cool.
And then I also think something that's important: if you're paying somebody money to teach you something, you have to know that they're legit at it. You know, and so. Obviously, Joao's resume, you can fucking Google it and see how many people he's strangled professionally, right? It's like, okay, this guy's legit. But Lappin, I mean, that dude's been in so much shit. People have no fucking idea the crazy shit that guy's been through. And he doesn't talk about it to brag, but he gives just enough insight to let you know, like, okay, listen, when you're shooting a human being at 7 yards and they don't drop, this is what it looks like. And I'm not trying to boast and tell war stories. I'm adding this in to the curriculum so you can understand, like, A, what's actually taking place, but B, like, I've been there. I've seen this.
Right. Well, because the other side is, you can look up Joao and watch all his matches.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh, he's one of the best in the world, right? You can't do that with Greg's record. Even though we would want to. It's PC.
Hey, speaking of Greg Lappin.
Oh, shit.
Look. Hey, you're live.
Hang on, you got to hit the green one. Old man, hit the technology right.
Hey,
there you go.
Are you guys done fucking off?
No, man, we're still fucking off.
Hey, you're live on the air right now.
What's up, brother?
What's up, boys?
We're here with Manimal. We're
What's
out
up,
here
big
kicking
dog?
it. We miss you. We got to get the 4 of us on here soon.
Look at that beard, nice and gray, real sexy.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys go. I needed to talk some business with Big Greg, but I can wait.
All right. I will call you after the show, my man.
All right, boys. Have fun.
All right.
And he's rocking an Endless Endeavor shirt.
Yeah.
Anyone see that?
Greg's the fucking man. Yeah. Hey, I felt the same thing. Like day one, I was like, other Greg and I are also going to be friends, and he doesn't know it yet.
No. So one thing I wanted to say when we were talking about like forging those friendships is something that I have both from the military and being part of the feds is you start to have friends all over the country. Like I could road trip across the country and map it out and probably have a place to sleep every night if I wanted to, right? Dude, having a network that's spread out is fucking important.
Yeah.
Not only for just, like I said, like if you're road tripping, having fun, but when the apocalypse hits, you're going to want a network that reaches.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that was one thing we were talking about before we hit the record button when you guys said, Vic, you need 5 minutes of silence, so we'll save it for the mic. But jiu-jitsu is life. I mean, having trained for so long, 8 years, and that was my draw to come train with you. I mean, we became friends by, hey, like, what's up, man? I'm gonna come to the gym and we're gonna strangle each other for a couple months and then we're gonna be friends. You know, it was like, but it was that feeling. It's like, hey, through this shared experience, and now it's like it's always an excuse. Like I plan my vacations now where I want to go train it. You know, different gyms. Like, you know, post camp, I went down to Huntington Beach last week and trained with Joao again. It was great.
No, I love that, man, because that was like one of my closing remarks. It's like everybody in this room, we have a bond now. And when you're up in Seattle, hit me up. When you're in Huntington, hit him up. and you were first to hop on that. You're like, I'm going to Huntington next weekend.
Dude, I was like, I gotta go. That dude, I haven't felt like I didn't know shit about jiu-jitsu in a long time. You know, and even with people who are in the Pacific Northwest who are really freaking good, it's like, maybe I feel a little bit competitive. Maybe I'm a threat sometimes. Dude, he made me feel like a white belt and I didn't know a fucking thing. I was like, I need to learn that, you know?
Well, bro, there's black belts. Then there's black belts that eat black belts. And I like to think of myself as somewhere in between, but the Pacific Northwest, I mean, there's a few killers up here, right? But down in California, there's a pool of black belts that will fucking take your soul away. And once you experience that, you realize you got to add that into your jiu-jitsu sometimes.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you're riding that high still. You're like, dude, I went down there and got my ass kicked. And for anyone that doesn't train, that probably sounds like, why is he so happy
Dude,
about that?
I had to have that conversation with my girlfriend. I was like, no, you don't understand. He just beat my ass up and down the mats. She's like, why are you fucking smiling? I was like, because it was the most fun I had in weeks. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's funny too. As you get more experienced, you will naturally start to tap less at your own gym because you figure out styles. I mean, especially me and Vic have talked about this a ton of times, but Vic has a very guillotine and Darce heavy game, and it's caused me to get really good at defending guillotines. I'm pretty hard to guillotine.
Yeah. Well, and on the other side of that, we haven't tapped each other in 6 to 8 months.
Yep.
And so it's like you start to learn each other's styles.
Yeah. Well, so it's good to go train with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that he has a good Darce game. So you become proficient at defending the Darce. But the other thing you become proficient at, the Darce doesn't get set up when he grabs the back of your head. It gets set up 5 steps before that. That's what you're shutting down subconsciously.
Yeah.
So
when I go front side headlock, he's bailing now because the way I set it up, it's like, he knows to get out of it far before it happens, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, and I've told this story. Vic knows the story very well, but he guillotined me one time at Ivan's, and I think it was during quarantine training. Right?
Yeah,
during that
speakeasy training,
that COVID training. But he got me good with the guillotine. Almost put me to sleep, and I was going to bed that night, and I could feel his forearm around my neck. And I texted him, and I said that will never happen.
And to be honest, I don't know if it has happened.
No, I mean, I remember when you told that story, it made me think about all the mornings you wake up thinking you swallow and you're like, fuck, dude, I'm catching the flu or something. And then you're like, oh, no. I got fucking strangled last night. That's why I feel like I have a sore throat.
Dude, that happened to me yesterday, Sunday. Joao bow and arrow choked me the fuck out of me,
That'll
right?
do it.
Yeah, and I wake up, I'm like, oh no, I just got fucked up. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
No, like when you visit other gyms or you go with guys that you don't normally go with, even down at Lappin's place, like his blue and his purple belts, because he has a similar vibe. Like they go hard.
Hard,
to make your jiu-jitsu real, you got to train hard. And this is a bunch of kids that I've never rolled with before, so I don't know what they bring to the table. And I remember like the day one, I was like, fuck, dude, like, how am I black belt? Like, this feels like a fucking murderer's row. And it's like, yeah, I beat them all, but my blue belts, like, I shouldn't say my blue belts. I got some blue belts that I have fucking problems with. Yeah. But I also know their game. Like these kids, I have no idea what they're going to bring to the table. Yeah. And by the last day, I trained the morning right before I flew out, and one of his blue belts is a collegiate wrestler.
Oh, fuck.
And I ran into him just by chance the night before at a restaurant. And he's like, hey, you going to be here tomorrow? He's all drunk. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I got you. You're fucking mine tomorrow. Oh, and I was like, and he goes, and I'm drunk and I know I'm going to pay for it, but I don't care. You're mine tomorrow. And I was like, all right, motherfucker.
Get some.
So, bro, I think, did I send you that footage?
No.
Oh, okay. Lappin sent me the security footage, dude. I'll show you afterwards. But I started getting in my groove with his students, and it takes a couple days, you know? And I guarantee you, the more I go down there, the more I'm going to find my groove with his students. And then we're going to feel more like training partners than like almost that competition energy, you know? Like I was feeling gassed. I'm like, why am I tired, dude? I roll for an hour and I've rolled one round here and I'm all,
that heart rate starts going,
Yeah,
and you're
dude.
like, I got to perform in front of everyone. Dude.
Yeah, it's crazy too with competition because you only get one shot at the person. It's not like you don't get to a redo. You know, it's competition. Like Jake Shields, I rolled with him, and it was we were going back and forth, and then he caught me in an arm triangle, and then I
The
realized
move of the day.
and then I realized, oh, he does that to everybody.
Yeah.
So you got to defend that arm triangle. So you go back and do it a second time. Of course, you're going to look for it, but in competition, nope.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like the best guy in my gym is Daniel. Like
That motherfucker. He's a savage.
You'll meet Daniel someday.
Bro.
And he's just this unassuming. He's like 27, I think.
28,
It's
same
like I
age,
can't
yeah.
call him a kid anymore. When he started, he walked in there all gangly, stoned all the time, like not the demeanor that you would expect from a ferocious killer. But as soon as you slap and bump, he goes from, oh, hey, man, how are you, to fucking, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And dude, it throws people off, right? But it's the same thing. Me and him, we haven't submitted each other in like probably 2 or 3 years.
Damn.
And if you watch our matches, it would be if you were to pay and watch us go on Flow Grappling, you'd ask for your money back.
Yeah.
Because we know each other's game so well. It's just we're just stuck to each other like glue, and it's neutral for 7 minutes, and nobody scores a point, and nobody gets anywhere near a submission.
Small battles.
Yeah.
Dude,
small little
that
battles.
guy Daniel is a fucking monster. We've rolled 4 times now, and every single time it's like the hardest rolls ever. It's like when you and I roll, right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Greg over here waits till I roll a Daniel to call me out.
Okay, I got you. Motherfucker. No, it's funny because Daniel performs the best when he's the most nervous.
Yeah,
So he says he performs best when he feels like a cornered animal. So it's like,
interesting.
who's this guy from Seattle coming up here
Yeah.
and like asking me to roll? You know, it's like he doesn't want to roll with you, but he also can't say no. So it's like,
Dude, it
all
was
right.
funny because I saw on your Instagram that he had promoted in black belt. I was like, dude, I got to roll with this guy. Like, that's when Greg's black belt. I was like, obviously, in the first time I went up there, first couple times, his knee was still hurt.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
when
I
came
mean,
back-
he's having his ACL replaced April 16th.
fuck.
It's still fucked. That's Daniel that you've been fighting is Daniel with one ACL. It's fucking scary.
Dude, that makes me
dude.
feel way worse about myself.
How long is the recovery for an ACL?
It's like 9 to 12 months.
Yeah,
dude.
and Chaz has had his done twice.
This is the second time he's had his done. So
he's got to rehab that, right?
yeah, bro. Fuck. Jiu-jitsu. And I tell people this straight up too, because I don't want to fucking be selling snake oil to
Yeah.
anybody that signs up. If you're training at my gym, something's probably going to be hurting.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
That's a real
There's no
thing.
way around that.
Yeah, I mean that was super disappointing for me. Is right before I went down to Guns and Geese, as I got a sports hernia, so I couldn't really, get any of the death matches because man, those are my favorite,
best,
the best.
How long does it take is the recovery for that?
Well, I rolled on Friday and Monday.
No. I didn't ask when you rolled. I said, how long is the recovery?
Idiots just get back on the mat like ibuprofen and we're good.
Yeah, most of the stuff that I've read has said 4 to 5 weeks, but
Okay.
I mean I'm not trying to, like you said, I'm not going to feel ever 100%. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of time to get back to it. I took some time off before Guns and Geese, and it's
Yeah.
Bro, I've become better at telling people to fuck off when I'm hurt and I'm not going to roll.
Yep.
And because for the longest time, because I've been at this 18 years now, and for the longest time, like I always tell my students, dude, if something hurts, come to practice and watch.
Yep.
You know, still be in the gym, be part of the vibe, talk to your teammates, hang out, because that's an important part. But if you're wired like us and you're there and someone's like, hey, you want to roll? Dude, oh, your knee hurts? I'll go light with you. Okay.
Yeah. I've learned that lesson many times. Like if I'm hurt and I love doing that, I'll go down to Ivan's, I'll watch, I'll coach, and I'll pop a beer open, hang out, right? Because that's my tribe, that's my people.
Don't put your gi on.
Don't put the gi on.
That's my advice.
Yep. If you go and watch, do not put training clothes on because you'll get on the mat.
Don't even have your training clothes in a backpack out in your car. Show up in a suit and tie or something.
Your rival will look at you like, "What's up, bitch? You sitting on the sides today?"
So, bro, literally, I told you guys, I think it was off air, I told you the story of trying to wrist lock one of my guys, which is just absolute blasphemy.
Yes.
But Joao showed a wrist lock at the camp, and I was
Which
like,
he did to me twice.
I was like, I'll try this. And instant karma, I fucking fucked my toe up, and then my wrist started hurting. It was just like, that's literally the jiu-jitsu gods is like,
For sure.
You're trying to wrist lock a blue belt.
and if you look at my wrists, dude, they're literally like smaller than a child's. Like put your hand on, like, feel those things.
Holy shit.
Feel these wrists, dude. Like, I'm just fucking weak genetics when it comes to my wrist.
They let you in the Ranger Battalion, though?
So fucking,
Sir, I need you to hold that AR-15 up.
I'm trying, sir. Where was I going with this? Oh, so on Friday, I was still aching. Everything was hurting. So I taught, and then I was going to just watch, right? And dude, I got this white belt. And I told you guys about white belt Bob, right?
Wait, Bob?
White belt Bob?
No, you have not.
Okay, if he's here tonight, roll with him.
Okay, God damn.
It's going to change your fucking life, dude.
Yeah.
Because he played rugby his whole life.
Oh, fuck. I hate those guys.
No, dude, it's
They're so tough.
Bro, it's literally a different thing from any human being I've ever seen in my life. He's like 230. His legs look like tree trunks, and his hips move better than anyone I've ever met. And it's like, fuck, dude, he's just such a problem. Yeah. And I was like, Bob, I'm not rolling tonight, dude. And I saw disappointment in his eyes. Oh my God. And I'm like, damn it, dude. Like that look of disappointment when you tell someone you're not going to roll with them, it's like, it steals a little piece of your soul, dude.
Dude, the one time I said no to Robbie, we were on the mats and I was kind of tired just coming back after injury. And round 8, he looks at me like, Vic, we're on. And I look at him, I was like, not tonight, man. He looks at me like, the fuck? And like, gets all mad and flustered and just walks away. And I was like,
just disgusted with you.
I've never felt such shame in my life. I was like, no, just kidding. We're going. Yeah. And it was fine. But dude, that inner bitch in me came out a little too strong. And he called me out on it and we got after it. But yeah.
But in reality, to use Jocko's word, it's a dichotomy.
Yeah.
Because, dude, your ego, it will fucking get you hurt. There are times when you need to be like, bro, not today.
Have you ever not tapped because your ego actually gotten hurt?
Yes. Nothing seriously. Okay. I mean, I've never had like a bone broken or anything, but this was like 4 years ago, and it was one of my purple belts, and he was a murderer.
Andy?
No. He's moved to California.
Oh, okay.
He's a brown belt now with AOJ.
Oh shit.
So and straight up told him like, if you want to be world champion someday, because he was chasing that, right?
Okay.
He was like, and competing every single weekend. I was like, eventually you're gonna have to move to California, right? And we're cool now, but there was a little bit of drama. It's just gym life, you know? And one night he got me in a heel hook, and it was during our little bit of gym drama, and his heel hook had nefarious intentions.
Fuck. Nice word.
No, well, if I don't even know if he listens to the podcast or not, but he tried to, you know how you turn it like a steering wheel of a car?
Yep.
He turned it all the way over, and I rolled, and he rolled, and I rolled, and he rolled like 15 times. And then I finally pulled my fucking leg out, and I was like, whew. But the damage was done, dude. Yeah. My knee was fucked after that. Yep. And it's like, to this day, if I had to go back and do it over again, I wouldn't have tapped though, because he's my purple belt and he was bringing like aggressive energy at me. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not king yet. You got to keep him to his place.
I've talked about it a lot, but you never know where that point is going to be where the other person's going to let go of the submission. Because dude, if you have it a locked in guillotine or something like that, and you're cranking on that shit, you never know when that person's going to be like, hey, I can't bring my arms out here.
Dude, well, I feel like a lot of that comes with like really getting to know each other. Because Rob and I know like we're going to go till the end and as hard as we can, but we have that respect between each other and that trust where, hey, if I tap, you're letting go. There's no extra hold on it. You know,
no Husamal Paul Harris.
Yeah, dude. there's one of our friends who goes just another little second long, and you have to make sure to tap early. Not a fan of that.
That's bullshit.
Yeah,
it's just bullshit.
And when I say friend, I meant friend.
Yeah.
To be clear,
not a homie. No. You didn't ambush him and force him to be friends. Like you did with
definitely
me?
Not. Nope.
No, and I tell my students all the time, like, especially the kids, I'm like, not injuring your training partner. It's incumbent on both you guys to know when to let go.
So who do you put the fault on more? Like if someone gets injured, is it the person doing it or the person not tapping?
I put the fault more on the person that refuses to tap. I feel like your safety is your responsibility. And if you're going to allow your ego, and bro, we all have egos,
right?
Like the whole leave your ego at the door thing. I'm trying to beat you.
Yeah.
We're both fucking grown ass athletic men.
So I'm assuming you don't like the phrase "keep it playful."
No, like it's a combat sport. It's ego driven. Of course, don't fucking call it something that it isn't. But with that in mind, if I get you to full extension on an arm bar and you're trying to do the hitchhiker back and forth and I'm turning the wrist each way, you know, and I'm right there and I know that I can just pop, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. But there are people that will.
Yep.
And not even because they're assholes, because maybe they've been doing jujitsu a year and this is their, dude, I just got Vic in an arm bar and he won't tap. Because think if a white belt got you in a fully extended arm bar.
Oh, shit.
Think about it.
Yeah.
How hard would you fight to get out of it?
Even at the Guns and Geese camp, these white belts, right? They don't know where that line is. So I'm tapping when they have it up here before it gets all the way down because they're throwing their hips into it. I'm like, oh, no. It's okay. It's okay.
Bro, even at a drilling pace, some of that stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Like when Joao was doing those arm bars, did you see how fast I was tapping?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude,
Tight.
1 millisecond too long at a drilling speed. Pop.
Yep.
You know?
But no, back to that like competition, like going a little too far. I've had 2 people now in my life and guys, they were better than me in jiu-jitsu, guys I looked up to, and I was putting them in danger. And I let go because my only option was to break it. So I let go and I got a text later that night like, hey, next time feel free to break it. And what was crazy to me is I felt it's a very specific.
That's easy to say in a text message.
Yeah,
They don't mean that shit. Dude.
This guy meant it. He was he was one of those. I'll tell you his name off air, but he was one of those. And the part of me, because I like to think I'm a good training partner. I never want to injure my training partners because then if I fuck Rob up or he fucks me up, like we don't get to roll next week. You know,
I tell my kids that all the time. I'm like, that's why it's important. Right. If someone doesn't understand it's time to tap, you need to tap for them.
Right.
Because if we lose 3 people, our whole team is going to perform less.
Correct.
And grow slower. Right. We need each and every one of you here.
Yeah.
There's probably a couple that I could do without. But,
yeah.
You know
but it was part of that, like, okay, I understand this one individual's chasing things bigger. Like, it wants to test himself to the fullest extent. And I was like, roger that. Next time I'll rip that shit off.
But then the other side of it is if you're chasing a fucking, like a world title, that's what you want to be. You want to be a world champion. Don't go to class where it's like a bunch of dudes from Boeing and soccer moms and then just try and fucking maul them.
Right.
Like seek the comp classes with the fucking killers and then see where you fit into that mix.
Yep. Because
it's a different thing. And I remember me and Joe have talked about this a lot because when I was in California, every class was to the death. And that was electric jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Every fucking night I'd have butterflies in my stomach like, oh fuck, here we go, dude. Here we
know
go.
That feeling.
And the vibe has since shifted because in order to be a viable business, you have to realize jiu-jitsu is for everyone.
Correct.
And so it's not that you're selling watered down karate bullshit, but you have to have a curriculum and you have to have a vibe that does appeal to normal 9-to-5 people, not people that want to be professional athletes.
Right. The way I equate it is like, there's certain people, and I'm sure both of you guys are like this, or trial by fire. Just get thrown in the mix like, oh, I got my ass whipped. Cool, I'm going to come back tomorrow. But sometimes it takes people a year or 2 to get to that point of wanting to feel real jiu-jitsu. You know? So
no, and the opposite of that is that trial by fire. It scares some people away because think about it, like especially like guys like us, we all grew up. Probably gotten 100 fights before I knew how to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like
I was very confident before.
That's what I'm saying though. So getting kicked or kneed or fucking rolling around in some gravel and your elbows are cut and shit, like whatever. This is like, I'm a pretty tough dude. But there's guys out there that work for Amazon that grew up in the fucking Queen Anne Hill or whatever and have never even been punched, have never had any type of violent encounter, and they show up to jiu-jitsu. If you want that person to believe in jiu-jitsu,
right,
if you beat the brakes off them, that's going to be something that fucking probably makes them reluctant to come back. And so I'm not saying don't fucking, if you're rolling, you're rolling, right?
You have to have those separate classes.
I'm not going to fucking treat you nicely because you're weak-hearted, but at the same time, is a proper time and place.
Correct.
You need to build that person to death rounds, not expect them to come off the street and be like, let's fucking go.
Right.
You know,
And they could
Not-
be a huge asset too if you build them.
that's
up
right.
way.
Yeah. Not everybody's white belt Bob that came off the rugby field and now wants to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know? On day one, white belt Bob tells me, he goes, yeah, because I mean, he was so good. I'm like, bro, what's your experience? He's like, oh, I'm pretty new to jiu-jitsu, but I played rugby my whole life. I'm like, oh, okay. And my the toughest friend that I have that's untrained, I always refer to him as the toughest untrained man I know. Grew up in Boston playing rugby.
Yep.
Right. And so he's like, white belt Bob goes, yeah, you know, we just go to the pub and get drunk, just get hammered. Then we'd go to the game. And then after the game, we'd fucking smash, and then we'd go back to the pub and celebrate. And I'm like, that's a
Sounds like a good life.
That's what I'm saying. But that's a wild motherfucker. That's a different kind of energy. That guy on day one wants to see, what's this all about? Show me what you got. You know what I mean? Most people aren't like that. And and from a business standpoint, you have to understand that, you know?
Yeah. We just gave our version of white belt Bob. Shout out to Jarrett Finau, 260-pound Tonga dude, UW football player, 7-year white belt because he was boxing, kickboxing, and all that. But yeah, same thing. He was a tight end, I think, and just moved so good. I didn't understand it. Like bouncing around like a featherweight at 260.
Bro, I tell people all the time, and it's not a popular thing to say, we are not all equal.
No, not even close.
That's it, man. Some people won the genetic lottery, and some people got the short end of the stick. I'm just happy that I'm somewhere in between.
Yep.
But when you slap and bump, there's dudes out there, and I hate to admit this because if you've been training for 17, 18 years, you should be able to win against any human being that's untrained.
Yeah.
But you know there's some fucking 300-pound tonguing motherfucker that's never done a day of martial arts in his life that would just rip you in half.
It's the worst
There's
feeling.
people out there like that.
And you know, the weird thing is that when you're going with somebody that has not done jiu-jitsu and they're athletic, you don't know what they're going to do. You're so used to training with people that you know what they're going to do. Like, you know, you get them in half guard, they're going to try to get you back in full guard. There's some people where they're just like pushing away, doing Turkish get up.
Yeah, bro. I rolled with a dude at the police academy that was in the NFL. And then once his contract ran out or whatever, they didn't renew him. He's like, all right, I'm going to be a cop. And I don't even know this guy's name, but he had never trained jiu-jitsu. But he was super fucking athletic, super strong, all fast twitch muscles, of course. And so from closed guard, instead of trying to do any kind of guard break, he just like spun as fast and hard as he could in like a 360.
Oh, shit.
And it like almost popped my knee. And I was like, what? Exactly. Like, this isn't jiu-jitsu, right?
What are you doing?
Hey,
He's breaking the guard,
you're
apparently.
But like, that's the kind of shit that those dudes would do in a street fight too. And so
Dude,
there is an element of jiu-jitsu that we all kind of accept how the game is played. And to go outside of that, is not fundamentally correct. So if you train that, it wouldn't be good. But there's times that it fucking works.
Dude, that's why, I mean, along those lines, right? Because you do jujitsu for a certain amount of time, and yeah, that ego's getting a little bigger. You're walking around like, and which is also a positive thing. It makes you a more confident man. Like, hey, no one's just gonna come up and fucking punk me right now, right?
So your walk is a little bit different.
Yeah,
Start walking a little
Bro,
different.
jiu-jitsu guys all walk the same.
Yeah. So you're
said that
posturing
a
a little
lot.
bit. Yeah, and so
It's half you have better confidence and half your back and knees are fucked up. It's like a proud hobble, you know?
But it was that moment when I rolled with Joao, bring it back to Guns and Geese, right? Where I realized, oh, that confidence I have is getting wrecked right now. That reinvigorates me to learn more jujitsu, you know? So
Yeah, I think it was big too for a lot of those guys that had not rolled before to get 3 days on the mats, and that's not gonna make them super confident walking through every bar and dark corner and alley and everything in the world. But being able to go in the mat or go find a gym now, and you have a gi, you've rolled a couple times, you've done some.
They're ready to get after.
You know how to do, how to shrimp, stuff like that is big.
Yeah, dude. And a little caveat on saying that untrained people can still be dangerous. That's just because we've found untrained people that come to the gym. They're at least seeking it out. You know what I mean? The truth is, every physical encounter I've been in on the streets, and it hasn't been that many. It's literally like 2 or 3, right?
Damn.
Since I started jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay.
Since I started jiu-jitsu. has felt like a fucking baby.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say everyone. There was a dude, I think I've told the story on the podcast before. I got in a fight in an alley in Kirkland, and I was training MMA at the time.
What are you doing fighting in Kirkland? There's no tough guys out there.
Bro, this is the toughest dude I ever fought.
Oh,
He
shit.
found one.
Yeah, I found one. Well, no, he walked into a bar and he pushed this girl that I was there with, pushed her down.
Oh, yeah, he's getting whooped.
Let's go.
For sure.
And my buddy goes, what the fuck? And he goes, "Whomp," and slept him.
Fuck.
And the buddy that he slept is a savage. And so I was like, all right, motherfucker, let's go. And we walked out in the alley, like gentleman's agreement, you know? And dude, it was dark. And they're like a couple of his friends, a couple of my friends, but it wasn't like a big crowd.
Mhm.
And I got him in a fucking Anderson Silva tie clinch and landed like 10 knees to his chin and didn't do anything to him.
Oh, shit.
Bro, hard knees, dude. And knee. Then I fell down and we scrambled back up and get to our feet. And I started being like, oh, fuck.
I'm going to have to kill him.
What is this?
Yeah.
This is a different thing, right? And he looks at me and he's like, all right, it's good. We're done. It's cool. It was fucking cool. And he held his hand out to shake my hand. And I was like, this dude's going to fucking try and sleep me when I fucking shake his hand. So I was like, all right, we're cool. And he shook my hand and we walked our separate ways.
Damn.
But I was
You were
like,
in for a fight of your life
like,
that night.
I think I kind of won. he's the one that said we're cool, right? Yeah. No, but other than that, and I was a blue belt then, blue belt training MMA. So I was still pretty new. But the couple of things I've got in after like brown, black belt, it's literally like putting your hands on a baby.
Yeah.
And so, but you shouldn't be walking around with a kind of confidence where you're thinking everybody's going to feel like that.
Right.
Because, dude, you never fucking know. Who knows what these days?
Dude, I mean, we can talk about that Green Lake thing because I've been training for a while, right? So yeah, that's how you and I originally became like connected a little bit, right? So
No, you were just a fan sending me a video. Look what I did. Look what I did.
That's exactly what I was fanboying hard, but it was relevant. I was like, yo, check this shit out. This shit actually happens and jiu-jitsu works, right?
Yeah.
So over in Green Lake, beautiful sunny day. I'm walking the lake with my mom. It's like Sunday, 2 p.m. I mean, 70 degrees out last summer. And I'm walking on the outer trail.
So a hot Seattle day.
Hot Seattle day. And I'm walking on the outside trail and, you know, I have my concealed permit, so I carry with me, right? I'm walking, I see some commotion up ahead, and you guys have been trained long enough and been around enough shit, you know, like something just happened, right? There's some violence up ahead, probably a little scuffle. And in my head, I'm thinking, stay out of it. You don't need to get involved, even though you probably want to. Like you don't need to, because I'm walking with my mom. Well, I get closer and I see this guy like bleeding out of his mouth, just sitting there with his t-shirt in his hands, and a bunch of women around him. And I realized it was someone I knew. So I walked around and I was like, holy shit, dude, what just happened? Well, they're telling me this guy, 6'5", 230, psycho, walking around the lake, just walked up to him and kicked him in the face for no reason. He was having a picnic with his family, right? His girlfriend, his daughter, who's now just scared of being outside, right? Because this happening, and all the women in his family, and just gets kicked for no reason.
Well, I think it's important to distinguish, because when you tell a story, dude, this guy just came up and did something for no reason. People's natural reaction is like, come on, man, there had to be something. In Seattle,
right,
the drug epidemic, there are people walking around the cities that I literally classify as zombies.
100%.
The brains don't even work anymore. They're going around, they piss and shit where they want, they spit, they fucking steal.
Dude, what's the problem with the AG? They're not keeping those people locked up.
No. And so this was one of those guys.
Correct.
Homeless, crazy drug addict.
Motherfucker, fuck him. So basically, in what's fucked up is we looked him up after this situation. There's 3 videos of him in the transit center punching transit cops.
Yeah.
And they let him go. So anyway, so I see this happen, and they tell me, I mean, chipped teeth, he's bleeding out of his mouth, and I'm like, I look at my mom and I say, you know this has to happen, right? And she's a 5 foot tall angel, right? I don't know what she did to get me as a son, but she's like, I know, go do your thing. I was like, all right. So I start walking after the dude, and I start handing my mom my gun, my phone, keys, wallet. I had a Cope hat on, so I freaking give her that, and I'm like, damn, how am I going to get this guy at the ground? Because he's walking away from me, bigger than I am, right? 230, 6'5", carrying a skateboard in a backpack. And I was like, damn, how am I going to get this, guy at the ground? And it was weird. It was one of those moments where I wasn't scared. No adrenaline was going yet. It was just, I saw this situation happen. I knew it needed to be handled. Like I was like, cool, I'm going to go fight this guy. I'm either going to die or the cops are going to arrest him or I'm going to kill him, you know? And my desire to, like, it's just pure evil, right? So I run up behind him, boom, tackle him. Well, I'll be honest. I kind of fucked up. I jumped up because I got greedy and tried to take his neck right away. And just like Joao taught it, right? We both fell to the ground. So I'm laying on my back looking up at this guy like, Victor, you fucking idiot. You're in a street fight you just started and the dude's standing over you. So I scramble up, high single, boom, we start grappling. I end up in full mount. And now we're by the basketball hoops at Green Lake and a huge crowd is forming. I mean, pretty unpopular opinion to be fighting a black guy right now, especially after the George Floyd stuff. Right?
Yeah, but you're dark too, so you get a pass.
Yeah, exactly. So I get full mount and I'm doing jujitsu, right? Super tight. And he bites my face. And I was like, oh shit. Like, oh, that's why you can't do this in a normal street fight. So I posture up, cross face, elbow, boom, he defends and I gift wrap him. And then I start looking around. This crowd's huge right now, like right by the basketball hoops. And I'm gift wrapping him and I'm still super calm. And I'm thinking like, wow, my knuckles are getting ground in the concrete. This kind of hurts. Like, why? I thought I wasn't supposed to feel this. I'm in a fight. Like, what's going on? It was like 10 minutes till the cops got there, dude. So I'm like, this guy's bucking and bridging and moving. And finally, I'm getting people to pin his legs. I'm looking at this freaking teenager like, yo, grab his legs. Like, help me out right now. So the cops get there. They wouldn't touch him until I got off of him.
I've talked. I mean, when you told me that, I was like, well, what kind of fucking moron showed up? And I've talked to other cops about this, and everybody's in agreement. That's the most asinine thing you've ever heard. There's no legal cause to, oh, we can't touch him. Dude,
it was crazy. Him. So one of the cops just ran up, put his knee on him. I was like, okay, cool. But they're like, you have to get off before we can grab him. I was like, God damn it. So what I did with the gift wrap, Kamorad got the guy to his stomach and basically handcuffed him for the cop.
Yeah.
You know, not with actual handcuffs, put his hand behind his back, like, okay, grab him. Then I sit back to his feet, figure for the guy's feet, and I'm holding his toe. And one of the cops looks at me, he's like, let go so I can grab him. And I was like, I'm not fucking letting go.
Bro, you can grab him.
Like, I was like, so I literally grabbed his hand and put it on the guy's foot. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Granted, I was happy the cops came so I could get off the dude, but still.
Bro, that's a perfect example of a cop that knows nothing about grappling.
Dude.
At all. Like, you're a fucking purple belt at the time. Have this guy fucking tied up. Use that to your advantage.
Dude, it was crazy. And what pissed me off, right? They handcuffed them. They're sitting there. And some of the cops, they knew Ivan, right? A couple of them trained by the time that some of the guys got there, right? And one of the guys talking to me, the guy's handcuffed. He just stands up and starts running, right? I was like, why the fuck didn't you put him in the car? First of all, it takes 4 of them to tackle him. And I'm watching this happen. I was like, I already did my job. I'm not helping anymore, right? Yeah. But it took 4 of them to get him down.
Hey, if he escapes, that's good on him.
yeah, exactly. I was like, all right. But yeah, it was crazy. It was like pure evil, beautiful Green Lake. Yeah, I was mad. I'm getting like mad thinking about because I wanted to hurt that guy. It was pure evil.
Well, bro, that's fucking all of these radical left cities are allowing vermin to fucking destroy it from the inside out. That's just one incident.
Just one.
Of millions.
It happens every day. Yeah. I talked to cops that we train with, and every day someone's getting attacked, someone's getting assaulted. One of our friends from the gym, he was walking on 5th Avenue after training one night. He lives by Bezos balls, right? Those little glass spheres. Mm-hmm. He's walking by them. Some dude comes up and stabs him in the shoulder.
Yeah, bro.
It's crazy, dude.
And nobody wants to fucking call it what it is. It's fucking drug addicted violence. And it's taking over these fucking cities.
Nonsense.
And everybody just wants to act like those people are the victim. It's like, no, motherfucker. You're ruining the cities. You're fucking defecating on the sidewalks. You're putting your tents up in front of businesses. And what's the city do? We can't move them because it's a city ordinance that allows tents now. Well, it's affecting my fucking income.
It's crazy.
It's affecting my ability to feed my children. And so, I mean, it takes men like you that are willing to confront them. Like if some fucking homeless motherfucker put a camp in front of my gym, I'd be like, bro, you got 25 seconds to have this thing packed up and be the fuck out of here.
Guess what happened right in front of our business here?
Yeah, well, let's hear it.
Dude, so me and my brother, I get to the shop early one day and it's 6 a.m. right in front, not blocking the spaces per se, but like just enough. They had put up a trailer RV. And there was a generator out there. I mean, and the car was gone. So it was like just running. They chained everything. I was like, no, Because we have one of our, our bookkeepers, she's an older woman. I was like, I'm not letting this stand. So I call the cops. Obviously not going to do shit. They're not even going to come by. I keep a bat in my trunk. Like, hey, Jay, they're in front of our business. Leslie gets here in an hour. Like, we can't have this here. You know what I mean? Our team's going to show up. And the reason I went and did something about it.
Literally, the law is set up to protect them.
It's crazy.
You own a business in Seattle.
Dude.
With how many employees do you have?
9.
See? Like, you're contributing to the fucking economy here. And they fucking won't help you.
They won't help.
And they side with them.
Dude.
What the fuck is going
Me
on?
off so much. And so the reason I got a little violent about it, I'm pulling up and I literally see a drug deal go down. I mean, 6 a.m. And I was like, shouldn't you guys be fucking sleeping, first of all? Second of all, I was like, God damn, I gotta deal with this.
Meth addicts don't sleep, bro.
Dude, it was crazy. So like, cool, Jay, go get the thing. Let's, So I grab my bat and I start being on the trailer. Hey, you guys need to move now. Guy comes out. I'm getting the fucking shotgun, blah, blah, blah. So I start beating this trailer with my bat, breaking the windows, the door, everything. I was like, yo, you got to go, right? And so then I called the cops. I was like, hey, guess what just happened, blah, blah. So then finally they show up because now something's happening for them to investigate.
Yeah, he said he's going to shoot you.
The cop literally got here and was like, so what do you want us to do about it?
What do you fucking think,
What
dude?
the fuck do you think I want you to do about it? Get him the fuck out of here. He's like, well, I know that guy. He tends to, he'll move if we ask him to. I was like, what the fuck? I just told you he threatened to shoot me. He was doing a drug deal out of it this morning, 20 minutes before you guys showed up.
Parked in front of my business.
And you won't do anything about it? Dude, so I stood out there with my bat until their truck came and because the cop was like, oh, we're going to take off. I was like, no, you're not. Because otherwise something bad's going to happen because they're going to move. Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
But the thing is like, and I've told my story of an RV that showed up on my property.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, it fucking cost me thousands of dollars to get rid of that thing because I had to have it towed. But the tow companies don't take those to their impound lot because impound lot, the whole reason that fucking system works is because people show back up and pay the $200 fee to get their car back.
Mm-hmm.
No drug addicts going to get their fucking RV back. That's why they don't tow them anymore because there's no money to be made.
Correct.
So the person that owns the business or the property now has to pay not only to have it towed, but have it destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets expensive really fucking fast. And, bro, a guy like you or I are confident to confront those people. But what about some 65-year-old lady that runs a candle shop downtown Seattle?
Dude, it pisses me off.
She doesn't have the ability to go out there and be like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
You know?
The prevalence of those kind of people were one of the reasons. I mean, to tie this back to Guns and Geese is that I really decided at some point to start carrying a firearm with me 24/7.
Yes, dude.
And I really wanted to. Part of the reasons for going to Guns and Geese was because I wanted to become proficient and comfortable with that. That I can handle myself and handle my firearm and know what it's going to do. And that's a huge. And I think that a lot of people there were probably in the same boat.
Dude, well, it's super cool for me to see. Because I've been shooting maybe just a little bit longer and, I'm sitting in my room dry firing, think I'm fucking cool and shit. But to see your comfortability level go from what it was before that camp to now confident to be able to carry it with you all the time, know how to shoot it. I mean, it was impressive to see one of my good friends go from minimal to like, oh shit, I'm ready to get better at this,
Well, and I think about this a lot too. Any homeless drug addict that's causing problems on the street, there's a 100% chance I'm going to beat that guy in a fight. But half of them are full of fucking meth sores, hepatitis.
It's disgusting to fight.
They have fucking syringes in their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a police officer, that was always on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I don't want to fight this guy. Yes, I'll win 10 out of 10 times, but what am I going home with?
Dude.
And so, like, that's where leg kicks come into play.
We got to start that calf kick now. That's popular.
That's right. But I'm to the point now where it's like, if somebody wants to fight me, I'm going to articulate deadly force.
Yep.
You got fucking meth sores and you've shit your pants and you're coming after me. I'm just going to fucking fill you full of holes.
Dude,
dude.
I couldn't agree anymore with that because the worst part about that, right? The guy bit me. Now I have to go get blood work done. He'd been arrested before. So they have his thing and it's a whole process. It's like, and the city won't do a fucking thing about it, right? Just the woman you're describing who has this little candle shop downtown is like, where's her protection? She's paying her taxes like a good citizen, right? Like, what the fuck is going on, man?
Bro, they'll take your taxes and fucking piss them away on God knows what.
Fresh needles for the drug addicts.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, did you see Denny Park down by Ivan's when it was full?
I saw it whenever I went down there and did the podcast with Ivan.
So that that was minuscule compared to what was there. So when the pandemic happened, pandemic bullshit, right? Dude, that park was completely full. You could not walk anywhere. It was like our version of Skid Row.
They had like structures built.
I mean, it was thousands of tents in Denny Park. Needles everywhere. I mean, it was crazy.
Well, we can't kick them out because where are they going to go? Not my fucking problem. Dude, it's not my problem where they go. My fucking taxes are paying for that park so my fucking children can play there. When I'm on my break from work, I can go for a fucking walk.
Yep.
You know, like, what are we fucking talking about here?
Dude, I don't understand it.
It's crazy.
And I think the worst part is the people, you know, who live in these cities that they work inside now. They never have to experience the outdoors, right? They never have to feel unsafe if they don't want to, right? But when you're walking through the streets and you see these camps everywhere and you realize, oh, it's super unsafe. I mean, maybe something will change. Someone starts really getting hurt. But even up at the chest, 3 people died for them to go clear it.
No shit, dude.
Dude, it's crazy.
Like, shut a police precinct down and fucking pander to the bullshit. I mean, that's what, dude, we could take this podcast a whole different direction because the fucking, dude, the radical left is ruining our country from the inside out. And it's to the point where it's like, is it calculated and planned, or is it just what happens when you live in a fucking fake utopia for so long?
I think that's what it is.
That everybody thinks that everything is happy and everybody matters and don't be unkind to anyone. And before you know it, you got people that are fully taking advantage of a system that in its inception may have been rooted in like taking care of people, you know? But it's like, after you do that for fucking 50 years, people are fucking taking advantage of you left and right, dude.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even 4 of my friends who were cops, they were out there clearing chads. No cop wanted that to happen, right? It's the people that are making those decisions, like, oh, that's just a summer of love. Like, fuck off. Yeah.
But why are we letting it happen? We're letting a minority of political leadership fucking just destroy our cities, right? We're letting some mayors and some governors just
Seattle City Council.
Yes, Seattle City Council just run fucking rampant. And then all these police chiefs, like fucking Portis Seattle chief of police is one of them. Like, seemed like a good guy. Seemed like his morals and his ethics were in the right place. But as soon as the radical left pushed him a little bit, he bent a fucking knee.
Fuck that guy.
Like, and I shared it on my fucking Instagram the other day. Fucking Special Operations Command had the Biden administration put a diversity and inclusion specialist to help diversify special operations. And then they put it out. They put it out on their fucking Instagram like they're proud of it. And so I posted something saying like, listen, inside of the special operations community, no one gives a fuck if you're black, white, brown, yellow, orange. They don't give a fuck. We give a fuck if you're good at your job.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
Same thing on the mats.
The only thing that matters past that is increasing lethality. Like, I need to be better at killing people, not fucking helping people's feelings. So how many high-ranking officers are just, well, you know, I've been in the Army for 24 years and I'm a full bird colonel and I'm going to retire. And so we're just going to allow this to happen. No, every one of you fucking officers in USASOC can go fuck yourselves. If you're not, no, I'm serious. If you're not taking a stand saying, hey, this isn't what we're about. Our community doesn't need this. This isn't who we are. We're not going to be fucking like just put into a position where we're just fucking battered and accept the radical left's agenda. Be a fucking man.
I mean, isn't that
be a fucking man and stand up and say, this isn't who we are. And you can take your fucking radical left agenda. You can get it out of my military and you can go fuck yourself. And guess what? The first officer that does that is going to be fired.
Yep.
Except you can go look at yourself in the mirror and you can be proud of who you are. And the second officer does that is probably going to be fired. But if every single one of you motherfuckers stands up, what are they going to do? That's the whole thing. If everybody stands up against the fucking radical left and says, go fuck yourself, what are they going to do? They don't have capabilities. The men that hold these ideologies are weak and frail. They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to shoot. But for some reason, they've fucking twisted the narrative to where now soldiers and police officers are obeying. You're all fucking pussies.
Crazy.
If you're a cop and you feel the way that I feel, but you're not being vocal about it, go fuck yourself. Like, I'm getting fired up.
Dude, I fucking feel
it's
it.
the truth, though,
Well,
dude. It's the truth.
Here's
Everybody
why.
needs to take a stand against this bullshit, and then it will stop.
Yep.
But like my fucking chief of police, when he fired me, he fucking told me, he's like, I guarantee you they'll come after me next because I don't align with how they think.
And now
What?
he's bending the knee.
What, motherfucker? So you're firing me even though you don't agree with them? If you bend a knee to any fucking entity, go fuck yourself, dude.
sure.
Like William Wallace 101, dude. And that's the name of my last podcast is like, you may take my life, but you'll never take my freedom.
Be brave or be a slave.
Yeah, be brave or be a slave. We'll go into that next.
Yeah. No, but to you asked why. Well, I think what it is in hearing you guys, you and some of your buddies talk about that tactical patience, right? I think the men in this room, people that are willing to actually do something about it, there's only on and off, right? So for the skill set, the skill set we have, right? It's binary. Hey, we're chilling or we're fucking people up. So for us to get so for us to get to that point, I mean, it's got to get worse because we're not going to sit. I don't want to play politics all day. Like, fuck that. That sounds horrible.
I know I've had so many people like, you should get into politics. Why? Fuck so
you.
I'm arguing with some fucking bitch and some fucking cabinet member, some city council bitch saying, like, I'll fucking
Dude, I don't know how
slap her.
Crenshaw has Dan Crenshaw has patience for that. I don't get it.
No, I know, dude. Like, it's to a point where, in my opinion, and I'm not fucking Nostradamus, but if the current trajectory that we're on continues, Americans will be killing Americans, or America will be invaded by a fucking outside entity, i.e.
Canada.
Fuck, if we get invaded by goddamn Canada.
No, but this is what fucking is just shocking to me, is that there's so many Americans that think that could never happen. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're ridiculous. It's like, do you guys not know what the fucking human race is hardwired to do?
Just read one history book.
One history book. Not only one history book. Bro, you're in this fucking, we are in this little fucking experiment called the United States of America. And we've somehow been able to maintain peace for a few hundred years. And it feels good. I like having my children be able to take their bike and leave for an hour. And I'm not worried, okay, are they ever going to come home, right? Yes, there's fucked up shit that still happens. But by and large, we live in a pretty safe society.
We're super lucky.
And we're lucky. That is not the human experience for the other half of the world. You go to Africa, there's fucking villages that are getting chopped up with machetes as we speak. Human beings are vile fucking creatures. And if we get to a point where we're too weak to fucking protect ourselves, there will 100% be another entity that's going to capitalize on that.
I'm coming out to Granite Falls.
We could fucking take America. Just that alone is fucking like, think if you had the capabilities of overthrowing this country. Fuck. Oh, dude, it like give you a fucking hard on, dude. There's people that would fucking love to do that and slaughter every man, woman, and child. And if you fucking think that like that's out of the realm of possibility, you continue to weaken our military, weaken our borders, weaken our fucking police officers on every single level. At some point, someone's going to test something, or the people are going to be fucking fed up with every aspect of our life saying, you know what? We're not going to fucking take a back seat and be continued to be fucking weakened and fucking disarmed and fucking just told to sit back. We're done.
The one thing I hold on to hope is that gun sales last year went through the fucking roof. I mean, we have more guns in this country than everywhere in the world. Yeah. So like, fingers crossed. Like, I think I
lost all mine in a boating accident.
No, now the new thing is they're up the stairs. You can't get them.
Hey, mine are in my closet. And if you try and take them, I'm going to fucking put holes in you. And I don't care if you're a private citizen or you're a member of the government. Go fuck yourself. That's where I'm at, dude. That's 100%. Where I'm at. And that goes for one 30-round magazine. My shit is mine. I've lived an entire life of service. I did 14 deployments to combat. I was a fucking officer of the law for a decade. I don't have to obey your bullshit anymore. And the same thing, like they're trying to ban fucking carrying weapons outside your house. You guys see that?
Yeah, dude. That shit got me fired up. Hey, when
same
you
thing.
That,
go fuck yourself. It's not up for debate, dude. I carry a weapon on me and I'll play your little game of a concealed carry permit just because I'm willing to be somewhat reasonable.
Right.
But as soon as you show that you're not reasonable, well, now I don't have a choice.
Right.
Because I'm not going to leave my gun at home because some Ninth Circuit bitch judge thinks that I should. My kid's safety is more important than your fucking dissertation.
Yeah, those conversations that I've heard you talk about on your podcast that you've had with your wife, like, where's that fucking 2 I'm doing this, that. They come to my gym. I've been having those conversations with my girlfriend recently. If someone comes to my front door and says, we're here to collect your guns, it's fucking on. And that's something I'm willing to die for. You know, like,
Don't threaten me with a good time. Like, because whoever comes to seize my weapons, I doubt you shoot, move, and communicate as well as I do. But but here's the thing. They're not going to knock on your door and be like, hey, it shows that you have 6 AR-15s and 2 AR-10s registered, and we're here to collect. What they're going to do is they're going to put laws on the books.
And then your neighbors are going to snitch.
And so now if you're seen with that weapon or you're stopped driving home and, oh, what is that, an AR-15 in the back of your car? They're going to start chipping away at it like that. Or like if they banned concealed carry and you're seen at Target reaching up to grab a fucking something off the top shelf and some Karen sees it print on your shirt. There's a guy with a weapon. And then the cops are going to come and what's the answer?
We've had conversations.
You're going to
like,
deprive me of my Second Amendment right?
It's crazy.
What are we talking about here? How far do you want to take it? Because I just want to go home and make coffee and fucking chill out. But if you want to take it to a fight to the death because I'm simply exercising my Second Amendment right, I hope you're ready, dude.
And I'm truly curious how many cops, when those laws start getting on the books, like would enforce it, because we know a lot who's saying fuck that.
Yeah, all those cops that said fuck that though, and bro, I am a supporter of law enforcement. I think that's pretty obvious. Some of my best friends are cops, but based on what I saw in 2020. I don't think cops are willing to tell the system to go fuck yourself as they should be, you know?
Agreed.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens, dude.
There's going to be a tipping point. But
I got a fucking platoon size element of Rangers in the Pacific Northwest. Good luck. You bring your fucking SWAT team. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I don't want to fucking go to war against the government, but I'm also done having my fucking rights stripped away.
Right.
And so where do they want to take it? That's up to them, dude. I just want to fucking do jiu-jitsu and hang out with you fuckers.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty fucking simple. Like, let me train, stay out of my business, and we're good.
Yep.
Can I do those? And if not, like, because I'm willing to die for jiu-jitsu. Oh, fucking, when all those rats were going on, I was down at Ivan's, right? We were strapped, waiting for them to come break some windows.
Yeah, he told that story on the podcast.
Yeah,
dude.
it was me, him, and a couple of our other buddies. But I was like, that's something I'm willing to die for. Like, that place groomed me. That's my home. You know, I'm willing to die for that. And where's that line? You know, it's crazy. And it was weird too, seeing this happen in my city where I was like, this is really fucking happening here right now. And I'm standing at my gym with guns. Like, what the fuck? How did we get here?
Well, that goes back to what I was just saying. People that think it's out of the realm of possibility. Bro, you were on the cusp of a severe violent encounter defending your property and taking people's lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they started throwing bricks through that window,
Ivan would have popped off right
it's
then.
on, dude.
It's on. No windows were going to break that day. Or they would have broken and everyone would have died.
I totally feel what you're saying, but I also come from the perspective of I have a family and 3 little kids, and I wonder, you know, and by no means it's amazing that we have people like you that are willing to stand up and fight, but at the same time, I also wonder where it comes into like escape and evade. I
know, bro. I go back and forth on that too, because that is your priority, right? But you can't, and I've thought about that a lot, dude, because I don't want my daughters to be raised without me, right? But if I bend a knee to the radical left and turn my weapons in and have to fucking socially distance for the rest of my life, and I have to abide by all their bullshit COVID restrictions, and I do that just so I can be present for my daughters, I'm giving them a future that they don't deserve.
Right.
It's up to us to ensure that our children inherit a future that we think they do deserve. And if that means I have to die in the process, that's something that you have to accept. And bro, men have been fucking being killed in combat away from their families since the beginning of time, dude. And I don't want to get fucking smoked. But when they hold fear over your head, that's how they fucking control everybody. You know? And I mean, fuck, bro. The people that pushed back even a little bit during the fucking COVID bullshit,
dude.
Yeah. Crazy.
Demonized.
Crazy.
Fucking the
Even
government.
just a little
the
bit.
government fucking spared no expense going after them. Look at Ian Smith. Dude.
I was gonna say, dude, they fucking went after him, and they're still going.
And they're
after
still
him.
going after him. Because you would think that guy was like starting a revolutionary militia based on how much they're fucking going after that dude.
He's got my vote.
Bro, all he did is want to fucking run a gym.
Dude, it's crazy. That's
what he wanted to do.
Probably the best thing for people during COVID.
Yeah. People with a fucking inner tube around their waist were fucking left and right. You know?
Yeah, and then you got these fucking Karens that are just freaking out because that dude wants to run a gym. Go fuck yourself. Like, go fuck yourself.
Dude, that was part of that mask video I sent you the other day, right? Ian Smith had posted something and giving the instructions on how to file an ADA complaint. And the first offense is $75,000, right? So now that I have use the system against the people that are using the system, right? I'm walking into every store, and every time I get in an argument with people, which happened all the time last year anyway, and I love that shit.
Bro, that's exhausting.
Dude, it is.
That's
But
why
also-
when we go to the store, I'll be like, I'll have a mask in my back pocket.
I know,
and
just for me.
and I'll be like, if anybody argues with us, I'm gonna be like, talk to my friend.
Dude, but again, we're I don't have kids. No one's at home waiting for me, so I have that time. We're cool. If someone's gonna do it, it's gonna be me. If someone's gonna have that conversation, right? So I take that personal responsibility where I'm like, no, like I have the time to do that. I'm gonna talk to these people about it. And so now that I had that Ian Smith, like, oh, here's how you find the business. I said there, oh, no mask. You want to talk about it? Let's do it. And every time I sent you guys that video, it was, going in O'Reilly's, sir, you need a mask. Well, I have a medical condition. I can't wear one. We can't serve you then. I was like, on video, you really just said that? Like, and the manager came by, I was like, no, he can stay. Yeah. It's crazy, dude.
But the thing that I hate about all this is no one in that store doesn't want to refuse business to you.
Right.
None of them.
And they don't even want to wear the mask themselves.
No one in that store even wants to wear the mask. You're right. They're just all so fucking afraid to tell Inslee to fuck himself that they're just fucking bending a knee and pandering.
Dude, and they were like some 21, 22-year-old kids where I was like, dude, you are the healthiest people around. Like, what are you doing? And do you actually care right now? Like, I walk in and you make it a point to come find me in the store and make it a big deal. Like, that's what you care about right now? That's the most important thing on your agenda for the day, is to come have a conversation about masks with me. It's crazy, man.
It's fucking... Fuck, man.
You go through the airport, you're just like, what are we doing? There's 1,000 people
The
in there.
announcements on the flights the other day, when you get up to please socially distance, you're packed in there like fucking sardines, and they're talking about it's federal law, we need to wear masks. It's like, I'm 4 inches away from the person to the left and right of me. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, bro. So I've been flying the whole time. You know what I mean? And fucking initially you'd get on the flight and there'd be like 3 people. And it's like, this is fucking badass, dude.
Yeah.
Then they started doing where like every other seat would get sold. Every seat is being sold now.
Every single one.
And I'm having people on you're having people on both sides of you. And it's
Every single
like,
one.
don't fucking talk to me
Dude,
about my safety. All you give a fuck about is your
Revenue.
profit. And you're a business. That should be your focus.
But they have federal law on their side.
Yeah.
Right? So, dude, I wasn't sitting in the Chicago airport when I posted something on my story. There must have been 10,000 people walking through that airport, right? And they have these little marketing videos up where we ran this test with these machines. Like, if your face is right here wearing a mask, you're safe from COVID, right? Like on an empty plane, they're trying to show. I was like, that's fucking bullshit. You can, like, how is no one seeing through this?
Bro, Seattle has the stupidest fucking COVID signs everywhere. Like, do you guys remember when you were waiting in line, it said, make sure you socially distance. This is what socially distance looks like. Instead of saying 6 feet, the spread of a moose's antlers.
What the fuck?
2 king salmon
Dude.
laid in a line. Like, what are you fucking talking about?
I don't
To
get
keep
it.
me safe, you have to show a picture of 2 fish laying on the ground, and that's how far.
Like the fish crossing sign.
Yeah. Bro, that's the reality that we're in. And everybody is just okay with it.
It's crazy.
And that's what's made me lose faith in this country's future, is like the overwhelming majority of people are just so quick to just say, yes, sir, whatever you say.
And,
you know?
and here's the thing. It's weird because I feel like everything in life, there's a bell curve, right? So there's us in this room over here, and you got the radical left, the people in the middle, and even some of my brother's close friends. It's like, hey, they just don't want to cause a scene, right? And that's their only thing. They're not confrontational people. It's just like, hey, if I just do this, it's good. I'm not leaning this way. I'm not leaning that way. I just don't want to be messed with, right? But that's the issue, is if you don't, be brave or be a slave.
Well, and that's where I still don't have it all figured out. I think about it a lot. Like a private business that is adhering to Inslee's bullshit, they're simply trying to keep their employees employed, and they're trying to keep those people's paychecks coming in, right? Mm-hmm. So I can see why some businesses are reluctant to say, go fuck yourself, right? And so when I go into a private business and they say, hey, sir, you need a mask, it's not those people that I want to fucking like berate and argue with, because I'm like, I don't feel like that's changing anything.
Correct.
It's the fucking government that needs to be confronted about this directly. But it starts with everybody collectively saying, we're done with your shit. And how do we do that? Because, dude, how many have you been walking through a store without a mask and you see another person without a mask?
It's the best feeling.
And you
ever.
give that little nod. What's up, man?
Yeah, it's good.
Like, but everybody needs to like collectively agree, like, dude, we don't work for the government. The government's not my fucking mom. They're not in charge of me. Like, I don't know where this concept came, where the government is like your fucking parents.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, I was just talking to someone about this. If you look at like a wolf pack, there's only a couple wolves that are in a position that want to challenge for alpha. The rest of the wolves are happy to just be part of the pack, doing the deal, fucking walking around, eating. They're following orders and they're comfortable with that. I think a lot of people are just wired like, hey, as long as I fucking have food in my fridge and as long as I'm getting my fucking stimulus money, it's all good, dude.
Dude, me and my brother, like when all this was happening and we're seeing people like Ian Smith and some of the, like, I think it's Spiffy's down in Olympia, right? They opened up. I was like, I fucking wish we owned a restaurant in the heart of Seattle right now. I'd be open the whole fucking time.
Bro, I'm not going to lie. When I fucking opened up, Jenny's just like, don't be like confrontational about it.
You're not going to be able to be confrontational
she's
about
like,
it.
Just if you don't want to obey the fucking governor's mandates, just, you can be low key about it. And I did for a while, but I was like, no, I don't have to hide the fact that my gym's open. And I fucking wanted confrontation, I wanted motherfuckers to come and say, you're not enforcing a mask mandate. Yeah, you're right. Because it's my property. Go fuck yourself. Like, I wanted that, but I'd be dead right now if that happened.
And especially, we
Probably not worth it.
we always talk like this pre-jiu-jitsu, and then we go roll and we're like, I don't really want to right now. I'm a little tired. I just got whooped by these two motherfuckers.
See, I rolled this morning. I'm kind of in that now.
In that chill mode.
See, that's why you're chilling. It's all
We're
good
all
over
fucking
there.
fired up. Like,
I know.
me and Greg are going to go at it later if his toe's okay.
I know.
I'm about to get my fucking ass whooped tonight.
I'm jealous. You guys are going to have a little jiu-jitsu party tonight.
Well,
man.
it was funny
I'm gonna
too.
miss
So
it.
I know you had that down in Louisiana, that first date roll with my brother, right? Like, oh, we'll play with him a little. He wants that death match. He's coming for you.
Oh, is he?
Oh, yeah. Hey,
He's not driving 90 minutes for no reason.
Dude, so let me tell you a story about my brother.
Let me go with your bro first.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. dude, when we did the quarantine training at Ivan's, there was 9 of us, maybe 10, right? Blacked out all the windows because it's in the heart of South Lake Union, Amazon. Like, he couldn't fully be open yet, right? Well, we didn't stop training. And Joshua, 160 pounds at the time, was able to come along because, he's my brother, fully got in. Well, it was me, Rob. The average weight.
He was vouched for.
Yeah. The average weight was 210 pounds and up. I mean, it was a huge room. And my brother. By the end of the 3 months, he was the toughest person in that room, hardest to tap. Like, even now, it's like, oh shit, you give him an inch and he's going to fucking take your neck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
and
bro, I always tell people that to measure your success when you're brand new, it's not how fucking many people you submit or how many people you smash or how many guards you pass. It's surviving. And you get to a point where like, this purple belt didn't tap me today.
Yeah, that's a real
that's
thing.
that's a victory.
It's a huge victory.
You know?
So, and he was like that. So he's coming for you tonight. Just be ready. Take that toe up. It's going to be good.
Yeah, and I was kind of trying to mention that around the campfire, especially for the guys that were newer to jiu-jitsu. It's like, hey, compartmentalize some of the stuff. Like, first, start to try to make it through some rounds without getting tapped, and then you'll eventually start figuring out like, oh, you'll settle in a position, be like, I know what know what this position is, things like that. If you can, focus on those little wins, I mean, you can go a long way.
Dude, I had a guy the other day, I think it was a week and a half ago before Guns and Geese. I was rolling and I didn't tap him that round. And he got up, he's like, fuck yeah, you didn't tap me. And I was like, this motherfucker. It's like, oh,
Go again.
Yeah,
Let's go again.
Oh, duly noted. I fucking went 20% with you. Cool. Next time, let's get it. So no, it's a good time.
No, but so initially learn to survive, learn to defend, and then most importantly, learn to find comfort when you're really fucking uncomfortable. Because like a fucking knee ride to someone that's never had that done to them before, it instills like instant fucking panic. Fight or flight fucking hormones are kicking in, Once you can start to kind of find comfort in those situations, that's when you can start to think. Most guys can't think in a fight. And I think that's what separates trained people from untrained people. Because as soon as you can think when the pressure is being put on you, all right, that's how you can now defend and then go on the offense.
And that's a good sign too, when you've been training long enough, when you have that first moment of clarity and you're like, hey, this is happening. What move do I want to do? All of a sudden you're like, holy shit, I'm thinking about this. But dude, when I roll with Joao on Saturday, he had me in mount and I've never felt so much pressure. And I started panicking. I was like, oh my God, this hurts. This sucks. And I was like, oh shit, you haven't felt this in a while. Like, okay,
yeah, bro, it's a real thing.
I got to make sure I'm getting whooped every now and then. Cause it was like, damn.
So have you heard of the OODA loop cycle?
Yep.
So it was observe, orient, decide, act.
Yep.
Like you're taking a situation and you're trying to basically gain the initiative. And it was designed by a guy that was a fucking like fighter pilot, right? And so during a fight, the person that carries the initiative is winning. But that can change back and forth 100 times in a minute.
Yeah.
And so I had a really good example of this last week. A friend of mine, do you guys know Kyle McCutcheon?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
He owns Kindred.
Yes.
Yep.
He signed up for Guns and Geese, by the way.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, number 2?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
And so maybe you guys should come back down.
Hell yeah.
But anyways, him and I have been training together since white belt. And now we're both black belts and own jiu-jitsu academies. And he came and trained with me the other day. And I got a takedown. And right after his butt hit the mat, he said something like, looks like you've been wrestling, like talking a little shit, And that was the end of the match. Like I couldn't pass his guard and he couldn't get anything going. Damn. But what he did do, and it was driving me nuts. He kept, no matter where my hands were at on his body, at any time, he'd grab my little bird wrist that they let me into the range of a time with, and he'd either pull my hand a couple inches forward or push it back a couple inches. And then I'd get it where I want it. He'd do it to the other one.
Just putting it on ice skates.
And then he'd grab my arm and pull it across, and I'd pull it back. And dude, it was so fucking frustrating that it never allowed me to get into my passing game. Because the entire round was him just fucking with my arms. And like guys that train, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
to other people, it'd be like, what? He was pulling your wrists around? That's not a fight. And it's like, he wasn't winning per se, but what he was doing is he was maintaining the initiative.
Right.
So I was constantly having to play catch up and get my hands to the position that I wanted them. Then once you're where you want to be, boom, I'm going to start my passing game.
Right.
And right before I start to pass, pull the arm again. Like, oh, what the fuck?
Thanks for the tip, Kyle.
Is Kyle a cop?
Yes.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
sheriff. Yep.
And so it's like, dude, straight up 7 minutes of me not being able to get my game going. Because you know how initiative is in a fight. A lot of times, like I said, it can change back and forth very quickly. But once you start to pull ahead a little bit, I always talk about fighting as a foot race. The farther ahead you get with the initiative, the harder it is for them to catch up,
That's
right?
a great way to describe it. Yeah.
And so, he just maintained that. And like, I was running a 7-minute mile and he was running a 650 mile.
Yep.
So it's not like he's that much better than me, but I was chasing him.
But you can't catch up.
And it sucks.
It's the
sucks
worst.
to be in a place, you know?
I haven't rolled with him, but I've trained with a couple of his black belts. He just promoted last year, actually, a lot. And yeah, his guys are good.
Yeah. And then the other side is the last time we rolled, I armbarred him like 4 times. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
dude,
you know how when you feel like you got someone's number, right? And so I was like, okay, I'll take him down. I'll get the pass, and then I'm going to hunt the arm. Because my game's very one-dimensional. That's what I do, right?
Yeah.
Except with your fucking ass, dude. And so, yeah, he shut that down.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, we got good training plans tonight. We gonna get it on.
Some X guard. That's what we're gonna do.
Hell yeah,
bro. X guard. Did I already tell you the story about Jordan? I think I texted you about it. Right?
Yeah, that he signed up at your gym. Jordan from Ivan.
Shout out Jordan, man. Savage.
Bro,
savage wrestler.
He's the best. Obviously, he's the best wrestler in my academy. Like the first day,
collegiate wrestler. Yeah,
bro. Yeah. And when I the first day I rolled with him, I'm like, how long you been training? You know, and he's like, I started wrestling at 4. Okay. But he's at a level where it's like, it's unlike most people's wrestling. And I'm not a very good wrestler. I have wrestling because I've trained it as an adult, and I wrestled like, I think 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. But there's a fuck, bro. There's
a huge difference.
Like we said about black belts, there's black belts and there's black belts that eat black belts. Same thing with wrestlers, right? And so I could not get anything going with this guy. And I'm like, God damn it, dude. He's a fucking blue belt and I'm a black belt. I can't get anything going with him.
He's an Ivan's blue belt, which is a little different. It's like, oh, you trained for 9 years and then put a belt on.
But then I watched one of my guys get underneath him and hit X guard. And it's I think X guard is like a wrestler's kryptonite.
Right.
Because you're directly under their hips. And
sprawling doesn't help.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yep.
So then we rolled last week and I was like, I'm going to try X guard. And it worked perfectly. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. I need to fucking. So that's why we're doing X guard tonight.
But that means you have to pull guard to get there.
Yeah.
I'm not taking him down.
Oh, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to realize.
God, I hate admitting you have to do that sometimes.
I hate. No. I tell everybody, never fucking pull guard.
Right.
Never pull guard especially in any kind of self-defense street situation. It's not an option. But the other side is, do I want to get under him on my terms or his terms?
That's true.
Because I will be underneath this guy. That's going to happen.
What's your preferred grappling method on the feet in a gi?
What do you mean?
So I have a wrestling background as well, and I've always found it really hard to shoot on people with a gi, especially because they grab collars.
So what I do, and Vic can attest to this, is I have good takedown defense and I have good hips. So I will not pull guard and I will make the person work to the point where they're starting to get frustrated. Then I'll hit my own double.
Then he shoots.
Or my own collar drag.
Yep.
But I'll be patient. I'll wait 2 minutes into the round before
that last time we did that round where we were standing for 3 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, super patient. And we had a nice flow. I'm shooting. You're getting far enough away. I'm not getting it. And boom, I shoot. I go take a step back because I'm relaxed. Boom, he shoots. And I was like, God damn it, I'm on my back.
Because if I fucking try and just that wrestler fucking grind head to head, I'll lose that fight.
So big counter wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then collar drags. If I have a gi on, collar drags.
Who knows in the street, maybe against that 300-pound Samoan guy pulling guard will work. Like, yo, what's up? Like, yo, let's get down. Let's do it.
But dude, like a collar drag is one of my favorite techniques.
Yeah.
And one of my purple belts who's since moved to the other side of the state, which makes me sad. Shout out Zach Yates. He's a police officer, and I showed him the collar drag in training, and he fucking was chasing a fucking suspect, and the dude had like a Carhartt on, and he's like, he got to the guy, and the dude turned around, grabbed it, and just wham, and threw him through a fence. Like, bro, collar drags can generate so much fucking power.
Josh Hinger does one really well. He does a cross collar drag to the single. It's super legit. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I probably need to start working out lapel more and the grips and all that.
And then the other one that I'm not good at yet, but I think should become one of my go-tos is like the collar drag in conjunction with the ankle pick. Like that's Lappin's go-to.
Yep.
Collar drag, snap down, and then grab that ankle and run. I mean, fucking GSP used to do that to everybody with just a collar tie.
Right.
You know?
Man, like, damn. No, that's legit. Yeah.
To high-level wrestlers, too.
Yeah. Damn, so if Kyle's going down there, you got some legit guys going down to Guns and Geese number 2,
man.
huh?
I'm excited,
That's going to be good.
We're thinking we're going to run a handful of, like, initial Guns and Geese curriculum, like the same course that you guys did.
Yep.
And then offer Guns and Geese 2.0, which is rifle or carbine and pistol in conjunction, you know? And we think what would be necessary is you have to attend the first one to attend part 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that way you're vetted and we know you're not a fucking clown and you're not flagging people. Dude,
and on the jiu-jitsu side, you can't be, day one white belt showing up at 2.0 where you got blue belts, purple belts showing up and getting it on.
Yeah.
You'll get hurt. Right?
And we talked about that because we're like, well, do we ever open up a training curriculum where you have to be a blue belt? And I was like, well, we're going to shut so many people out.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's a lot of white belts that have good jiu-jitsu. That's what people don't realize. Like, you can be a white belt for fucking 4 years.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
You can be really good at jiu-jitsu as a white belt, or it can be your first day as a white belt.
That's fair.
Yep.
I've had people ask, like, what do I have to do to earn my white belt? I'm like, buy this Moya brand.
Show up
And
day one.
there's a white belt
Day one,
in the
you get that.
package.
Yeah, you're good to
know?
go. Yeah. Well, that'll be fun because that'll bring a little, carbine pistol. That'll bring some excitement.
But that was one thing the cadre talked offline about, or maybe we talked about it with the students too. The amount of like safety protocol that was followed to a T even shocked us.
Yep.
I was even surprised. Yeah.
We thought that there would at least be one fucking goon somewhere. And I think that is because Lappin has a good command presence on his range. He sets the expectations. He talks about it. Like, if you're fucking barrel sweep somebody's toes, you're wrong, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking problem.
The safety briefing he gave before we put guns in the holsters, I mean, it was legit. It was super legit. Hey, you're first stage medic. If you're down, okay, you're number 2, and
this is the evac vehicle.
Dude, I mean, I was like, yep, you know what the fuck you're doing. This is good to go. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, people think that stuff's redundant because a good instructor will give that briefing every morning to the same group of guys, even if it's a course that's 3 weeks long. Hey, the gray Dodge Ram is our evac. Yep. This is the hospital we're going to. This guy has the coordinates in his GPS. Like, this guy grabs the aid bag. All that stuff may sound redundant, but then someone fucking has an AD and shoots someone in the leg. Everybody's fucking adrenaline's going. Like, some people are going to be panicking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. Okay, we talked about this. Let's go. Yep. You know?
Wait, how old was that? The son who was their super tall kid, was he
18?
18. Okay.
He was 18.
Yeah, dude, good on him for wanting to do that. That was super cool.
Dude.
Yeah, he was having a little bit of a rough time on that third day in jiu-jitsu, but he was there and holding strong. I was like, good on you, man.
He also had the nicest gun on the line that malfunctioned the most.
Not striking the primer. I was like, dude, get a Glock.
No, it was a Glock. It was a ZevTech.
That's what it was.
So what ZevTech does is they take Glocks and then they modify the fuck out of them. Right. And so a ZevTech is a race gun, meaning like people want to take a stock Glock and then they want to make it run as fast as possible. But there's a point of diminishing returns where if you try and make that gun run too fast, well, you're not getting the hardest striker, the primer strike that you're looking for, right? So that's exactly what we saw with that gun. It's supposed to cycle so fast that it's not striking the primer hard enough to fire. And it's like, well, it kind of defeats the purpose
of having a fucking gun.
Of having a fucking fast gun. It doesn't shoot bullets, right?
Well, it was super cool. Lappin describing, hey, combat effective shooting. Right? There's a huge difference between target planking and race gun and all this stuff. It's like, no, what is effective in a fucking gunfight?
It has to
so good at explaining that.
It has to go bang.
Yeah.
When I pull it out of the holster, right?
That one round that he passed around that had the.
I have it.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's got a strike in the primer. Yeah. It did not go off.
So I fucking text that picture to BJ Baldwin because, you know, he's a fucking savage, right? And I said, check this out. This was from a Zev. And like, you know, he's a champion truck driver because he geeks out on data. Mm-hmm. Anywhere where he can take, shave a millisecond off here or gain something there. Like, that's how he fucking looks at his engines and every component of his truck. Same thing with guns. He replies back to me. He goes, any stock Zev I've ever purchased has a 2% failure rate, which is unacceptable in a gunfight. You know what I mean? And he goes,
that just tested a lot of them then.
So he goes, so I switched this out, I switched that out, and now I've switched it to a 0.0006% failure rate. And I'll take that.
Jesus Christ.
Of course you got fucking hard data on it.
That's crazy, man.
You got to text that info to that kid. He'd change some parts out, be good to go.
Bro, he said send it to him. I screenshotted it and sent it to his dad. I did.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You gave him some real advice right there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know if I told you, when I went into BJ's house, did I tell you about his house?
I don't think so.
Bro.
Not yet.
So any advice that he gives you on ballistics or fucking like muzzle velocity or what spring to use, it's not something that he read on the internet. Him and his girlfriend spend 4 hours a night. He said we both have insomnia, so we stay up at night and they shoot all these different rounds. They switch the barrel out. They switch the springs out.
They're doing velocity testing, like all that shit. Yeah.
Fucking all of this stuff in their kitchen. He lives in a neighborhood, mind you, right? And I'm not exaggerating. He has a table like the size of this one with like FBI ballistic gel stacked to the ceiling. Thousands of rounds in it. So not only are they doing all their calculations, but then they're taking measurements. Okay, this round penetrated this far. The fragments went this far. I'm telling you, bro, when that motherfucker releases a book on ballistics, you need to buy it.
Yeah, because it's gonna be good to go.
Yeah, he's put in the time. Like he spent 25,000 rounds recreating his shooting that he got into because he wasn't happy with his performance. And his performance ended with him and his girlfriend alive and the suspect dead.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good to go.
In a gunfight, that's considered a win, right? But he's like, no, dude, I could have been better. And this shot and that shot, like, you know what I mean? Like, but that's why he's a world champion, because he holds himself to the highest standard.
That story was fucking crazy. And the biggest takeaway I had from that story, his girlfriend's gun was in the truck.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy's coming up on him. You never know when it's going to happen.
And bro, she's a champion shooter too.
Yep.
So like,
I was like, oh damn.
That was,
Always.
something that Greg Lappin said that really stuck with me was we don't get to choose the time or the place.
Yeah.
And you used to not keep one in the chamber.
Yep.
Right. Just not comfortable. And
yeah. Greg talked me out of that real quick, very quickly.
He put you in place. Like, yeah, you got to do that. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Well, and sometimes like, and that's why it's good to get in a habit of every time you put your gun on, you do like a fucking draw and you do a press check just to make sure that everything's good. Because my regular duty carry, or not duty carry anymore, I'm not a fucking cop, but the one that I carry, like right behind me, that one, my Glock 43, I'll put that on top of my bookshelf in my house because my kids can't reach it. And so when I'm home and I'm going to be home for a couple hours, but there's a lot of times I'll drop the mag, I'll eject the round that's chambered, and then I'll fucking put the magazine back in. That way it's just another element of safety, right?
Yep. That's what I had told him too, is he had asked why I don't keep one around in the chamber. And it was one more step. That
if your kids were to get to it, right?
One more step they would have to accomplish.
And here's the thing. People are like, your kids should never be able to get to it. And I was like, okay, I agree with that, but we're also human. There's also fucking, there's just the possibility. I don't care if you have a fucking safe with a 300 combination lock on it. Kids figure shit out, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember as a young kid, like going through, because most safes have keys too, right? To bypass the fucking.
If you find that key, you're good to go.
Oh, bro, I went through all my parents' keys and was able to get into my dad's gun.
Oh shit.
My dad's gun safe, and
did he find out? Is what I want to know.
Well, so my dad's rule was anytime you want to look at guns, let me know and I'll pull them out. Right. So I had a very I had an element of familiarization with firearms, but still like you're a fucking kid, you're nosy, you're snooping.
Yeah.
You know,
you want to test the line.
Hey,
where is that?
Are there, and it wasn't even like, oh my God, guns. Right. It's like, what else is in here? And I found a little, remember when fucking back when weed was illegal, people would keep it in camera, like film cases.
Yep, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
So I found a film case in there. I opened it and there was some buds. I was like, oh,
weed. What do I do?
And you know, it's funny. It's like, I remember being like 14 or 15, whatever it was, and pinching a bud off of that. Bro, weed back then sucks, dude.
It was so bad. Yeah, I cannot.
Like you'd smoke it and you'd barely feel buzz and it'd just give you a headache. And it's like
just fucking dirt.
I wish my dad was still around to see the fucking shit they're coming up with now.
Hey, so going back to the concealed carry.
Enough weed talk.
Yeah, no, going back to concealed carry with kids. So I think that was something that and I did feel a lot more comfortable after the camp carrying. Talk to Greg about the whole round in the chamber and everything. But I think that's something that is probably a topic that people don't really want to touch, is that, you know, hey, I want to have a firearm with me at all times. And I also have children. What are some best practices? Because there are going to be times when I have to leave it in my truck.
Right. Where you're not just strapped up with your belt and ready to go.
Or I'm running it into a bar to have a beer with a buddy or something like that, and and there's going to be times I'm wearing basketball shorts. There's going to be times where I'm going to want this firearm on me or around me, and I have kids and I have these other problems. And I think that maybe for Guns and Geese 2.0, that would be good.
Yeah, have that be a topic of discussion.
Yeah.
Even concealed and draw practice or something like that.
And there has been times where, like I've had a couple shitty holsters before I got my Allegiance holster.
Shout out.
There we go. That thing's awesome.
Coupon code endless for 10% off.
Hell yeah.
No, but like where I got a new gun, but I couldn't find, there was a period of time where like I didn't have a holster that was sufficient, right? Like if it's a leather holster, like some of the inside the waistband ones, you order a leather one, and leather holster can mean totally different things. Some of them are legit, some of them are dog shit, right? And if a holster is dog shit, you shouldn't use it at all. It's just go in the garbage. But if it's what you got right now, well, when you're carrying inside the waistband, that fucking gun's pointed at your femoral artery or your dick. You know what I mean?
So you don't want that thing going off.
If I don't trust this holster, there's been times where I've kept not kept a round chambered, because I'd rather have a gun where I have to chamber around than no gun at all. And so there has been times when it's like, okay, I don't want this gun pointed at my fucking dick in this holster because I don't feel comfortable with it.
Have you ever found yourself in a situation outside of law enforcement when you were carrying that you were happy you had your gun with you?
I have never used a gun outside of a professional capacity.
So you've never needed to draw on anyone, right?
No, I've never. Yeah. I'm of the mindset where if I'm breaking leather, someone's going to die.
Yeah, that's very
like, I don't want to be like, hey, get the fuck out of here and pull a gun and start issuing commands under the threat of fucking violence.
Right.
Like that command presence needs to come just from who you are.
Right.
Because I don't want to show that hand. Once you show that hand, you basically said, this is everything I bring to the table.
Great point. Yep. That was something that Andy Stumpf talked about that stuck with me. I was like, yeah, if at that point, someone has to, because if you're using it now, you're in trouble. You're brandishing it. You're using it to empower the situation. If it's on film, but you know,
that's another reason why I don't believe in open carry.
Right.
Now, should open carry be legal? 100%. If that's your thing,
I want to know who the idiot is on the block.
Like some people think it's a deterrent, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, but more importantly, they're entitled to their right to carry their gun however the fuck they want.
Correct.
I just don't think from a tactical perspective, it's good to be like, hey, I'm the guy with the gun. Because in my opinion, the more likely scenario that you're going to use a firearm in public is probably responding to an active shooter than a guy saying, put him up and give me your wallet, you know? And so I don't want the person that I may be potentially killing to know that I'm your fucking adversary that's going to get you. Mm-hmm. I want to I'll be in target.
Because then they're coming for you first.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the element of surprise
anymore.
They're coming
from you first, right? And so I'd rather be in target and hear something and be like, oh, there's a motherfucker on aisle 6 fucking shooting people. Roger that.
Yep.
Draw and then tactically advance on him. And nobody knew until it was time to go. Right. I think that's the right way to do it.
That sounds good. Yeah.
But I mean, everybody's entitled to their fucking opinion, right?
That's true. That's true.
I had a point on concealed carry that I got fucking sidetracked. You sidetracked me. Oh no, you said have I ever used a firearm? So I've never had to draw concealed carry. Mm-hmm. I have had my AR in some dude's face trying to break into my house.
Oh yeah.
Which, I told you that story, right? But dude, and that's
smoked him.
I'd be in prison because he was outside.
Oh, he wasn't in your house.
He was trying to get through the front door.
Damn, those laws are that stringent. Like, dude's trying to break in your house and he hasn't crossed the threshold of the door yet.
I mean, it's hard to say, dude. It's hard to say, but it's a good lesson for me because I had an AR-15 with a light on it, fucking illuminating him on my front porch. I'm like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? You know, immediately. His response wasn't to go run and hide or fucking like cower. Shoot me, motherfucker. Shoot me. Shit. You know what I mean? Like that's his fucking like primal reaction was, let's see you fucking do it. You know? Wow. And I was just like, man, like, but he started backing away.
Okay.
If he'd rushed me,
boom.
Now I could fucking have, you know?
Yeah, but if you shoot someone when they're backing away,
no, yeah, exactly.
You're going to jail.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what like one of my buddies who was going to remain anonymous, but he's like, if you shot him and he was close enough to have like powder burns on his shirt and in his hands and shit, you would have been good because you could have easily articulated like, dude, he fucking rushed me, you know? But the other side of it is like, I don't want to create a scenario where I have to kill someone. I want to kill people in scenarios that they create where they deserve to be shot.
Correct.
You know? And so instead of shooting him, I used jujitsu and put him to sleep in 5 seconds. And that's where I told you guys, like, jujitsu on the street fucking works.
Works.
That's the first time I put a guy in a chokehold outside of the mats. And it even surprised me. He went to sleep in like 5 seconds. And I was like, whoa. Like,
he doesn't know how to defend this. This is good.
And I was a blue belt at the time. I was a fucking blue belt. And like, a rear naked choke's a rear naked choke. You know?
Puts anyone out.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
Dude, that's the crazy thing about jiu-jitsu and the guns and geese thing, right? I wish I could express adequately to everyone there who is just starting their jiu-jitsu journey how fucking powerful, one, the camp is and jiu-jitsu itself. You know, I mean, hopefully they'll stick on that journey, man, because it saved my life in more ways than one, on and off the mat. You know what I mean? And it's incredible.
Yeah, I was really trying to encourage people too, like, you know, hey, you're going to go home and keep training, and the mats they'll give way more to you.
They never lie.
They will give way more to you than you'll ever give to them.
Yeah,
100%, dude. And it's you know, like Ryan and Logan, that's the 18-year-old kid with the stepdad.
Yep. Okay.
He's hit us up because he's like, I can't find a gym close to my house.
You know what I'm gonna say, right?
I don't know. I don't know what you're
Gracie
gonna say.
University. Shout out to Lappin.
No, so dude, they built a mat room in their.
Where do they live?
Somewhere in Ohio.
Okay, country boy.
Yeah. Like, and no, he sent me the address, and I looked, and I was like, oh. There's nothing. There's something that's like a couple hours away.
Wow.
And so I've told people, like, if there's only something that's a couple hours away, then you meet with that coach and you tell him your circumstances and you try and figure out like, hey,
once a month.
Can we train once a month? You give me something to work on. And then I come back the next month and you maybe like schedule a private before the class so you can.
Yep.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Then they can like assess your progress.
So they ordered mats?
So they ordered mats.
Fuck yes.
They matted their room. They have 4 people that are going to train out of their house. And he said he's going to fly Lappin up like once a month or something.
Whoa. Get some.
I was like, I didn't know you were a millionaire. Yeah. I was like, well, what about me? You know? Yeah. I'm kidding. He told me that. He's like, well, that's a lot closer for Lappin than me. And, you know, I don't fucking want to fly to Ohio once a month. So I'm glad he chose.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
But no, I mean, that's how serious they're taking it after one weekend, you know?
Awesome.
And then the other side of it is Lappin can then also work all the firearm stuff with them too.
Right.
So
I think that kid learned that he was defenseless and he needs to learn this shit.
Yeah, bro.
It's super powerful. Dude, that was the biggest thing for me when again, trial by fire. I walked into Ivan's the first time. I was like, yeah, I'll do this. I know how. Like, I'll figure it out. Got whooped. And I sat in the car, my fucking, you know, face in my palms thinking, oh my God, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know how to fight. I need to learn this shit because this is not acceptable.
Bro,
that happened to me this morning.
Bro, so when I was a brown belt, I was running some practices at the gym that I was a part of. And one of my buddies came in who was a sheriff with Snohomish County. And he goes, hey, one of my buddies is coming in tonight. He says he thinks this stuff doesn't work. I said, roger that. Right? You know? And
you start tasting blood.
And bro, he's a fucking former Marine. He was the Snohomish County defensive tactics instructor. Super, super fucking strong dude. And he's cool as fuck. Like we're friends to this day. And he's a purple belt now.
Legit.
So obviously he bought off on it, right?
Yep.
But dude, I fucking like poured it on him because I was like, if you say you don't think jiu-jitsu works,
now we have to fuck you up.
This is different than you're just checking out jiu-jitsu, right? And same thing. I left fucking the mats and I went into like the entry room of the gym and he's sitting on the couch, head between his fucking hands on his head, like between his knees, just staring at the ground. And I'm like, are you good, man? He goes, no, not good. Like, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Like, I didn't even think that was fucking possible.
Damn.
And he's like, I'm all in.
Yep.
And signed up and became like trained all the fucking time.
Savage. Love that shit.
But like, it's just such an important moment. You want to know something that's funny about that day?
Yeah.
Is to circle back to what we were talking about. He was a big, strong, athletic dude that didn't know how to grapple. He knew how to wrestle.
Right.
He also grew up wrestling, right?
Okay.
And he was fucking like freaking out when I was on top of him, and it bent. It's like he landed on my ankle and it bent it backwards and it popped. And I was like, dude, I think this fucker just broke my ankle. But I never showed it because I was like, dude, he fucking said jiu-jitsu doesn't work. Like, this is your role to expose him to jiu-jitsu. I was like, and I don't know if I ever even told him that. So if he's listening,
Dude, that's the worst.
You know?
It's always the new guys you get fucking hurt with, man.
And I was just fuck, man. Like, of course this happens.
Yeah,
you know?
Dude. So what were the biggest takeaways? Because have you, Joao and Greg, sat down and be like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we read everybody's AARs that they filled out. And most people didn't complain about anything. Everybody's like, everything was fucking great. But if we were to give you some constructive criticism, you know, one thing that everybody wanted that was kind of interesting is a welcome aboard packet with like local restaurants, bars, places to get food, grocery stores that we recommend.
Yep.
And we didn't even fucking really think about that because it's like Google works, right? But
shit, I was even messaging Greg like, hey, what should I eat?
That's the thing. It's like, yeah, you can Google restaurants and then you can go read their Yelp reviews, but they want something that the cadre vouches for.
Yep.
Therefore, it's like, boom, let's go. You
Yep.
know? The other thing is people said it wasn't enough time between the range and having to be at the mats. And it's like, it was 3 hours. Like if that was a military course, you would have been given 45 minutes.
Right.
Like you literally have 20 minutes to eat, 20 minutes to fucking shower and be there on time. And so we wanted to run it kind of fast paced. Like, I don't want you to go back to your hotel and turn on a fucking show and chill. And because what happens when you do that?
You get sleepy.
Yeah, you're sleepy.
Eat and you're laying in the hotel bed.
Like 3 hours was a substantial amount of time to where you could shower. You could sit down and get
here's
a
what
meal.
it turned into, because it turned into 1.5. Right, because by the time the range got done, it was 12:30, 12:45. We're all BSing, hanging out, and then it's like, oh shit.
So what do you guys think? Did you feel like you were rushed during that?
No, I
not
thought
us, because we were getting on it. You know what I'm saying? But I could see how some people would say that. You know,
so that was one of the things, a bigger break, and so we were thinking. I mean, maybe instead of range being 9 to noon, have it be fucking 8 to 11, and then that. Right there, you have another hour for 3 p.m. mat time. The other thing is people said 3 hours of jiu-jitsu is too much.
I even said that.
And so we're thinking probably 2 hours next time. And then the mats will be open for the 3rd hour where all cadre remains for question and answer for people that want to literally like keep learning. And then the people that want to roll can roll. And then the people that are spent can just sit on the sides and observe.
Right. Yep. That was one thing. Some of the guys came up afterwards on the last day, like, hey, watching you and Greg, you and Joao roll was super fun. Because if they hadn't experienced jiu-jitsu, if there's no like rolling portion, they didn't know what to expect. They're like, you guys were just bouncing off the walls, having a good time. I was like, yeah, I got my ass whooped, but it was super fun. But they got to visualize what actually rolling was.
Yeah.
So we talk about that all the time. It's like some of the matches we have should be on like flow grappling, man.
Yeah,
Like,
a bunch of Neanderthals not knowing what we're doing, just getting after it.
I say that to my fucking guys all the time. And like, I'm going to fucking pull the security footage and fucking put this up on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because dude, some of the best fucking rounds you'll ever see in your life are in a fucking room with 6 guys.
Yep.
You know?
Dude,
like,
jiu-jitsu quarantine training. It was like that. Dude, funny jiu-jitsu story. It was Saturday morning, open mat, everyone's there, packed house. Rob comes in, I'm like, fuck, we're about to get after it. We do class. Ivan walks in, and right as me and Rob are about to roll, and I'm doing what I do best, I'm talking shit. My mouth is running. I'm just having a good time.
You heard a little bit of it on the ring. He's chatterbox, right?
Dude, if you're my friend,
he never shuts the fuck up, dude.
if you're my friend, I'm talking to you. But also,
you forced us to be friends.
For sure, 100%. And you're happy that I did. Yeah. So, but also, you know, if I don't like someone, because I won't say a fucking word to them, right?
Okay.
So, but we're sitting there, we're chatting, or I am, right? Rob, you're never in your fucking life going to Kimura me ever.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I shit you not, he double-legged me like a minute later, fucking Kimura's me in front of everyone.
And I don't Kimura him often.
Dude. And I looked up and Ivan's giving me the look. My brother, I mean, everyone in the fucking gym, like, God damn it. And it was one of those days, man. It was rough.
So let me tell the second half of that story. So that the Kimura incident happens, and I take him down. There's like 45 seconds.
I've never seen him smile so big.
Oh,
to be
dude,
clear.
I was on cloud nine, bro. I was on cloud nine. So then there's 45 seconds left in the round, though, and so he comes at me hard.
Oh, like a raped ape.
Oh,
I'm gonna get redemption.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're not.
So he gets my. He takes my back and rear naked chokes me with like 5 seconds left on the clock, and I tapped out and I walked off the mat and everything. I was just chilling, talking to Ivan outside and everything, and I was like, my voice is different. My voice was all gravelly and shit, dude. My voice was gravelly for like a month, bro. Yeah, I would answer the phone and people wouldn't even know who they were talking to.
Dude, if I wouldn't have gone that round, I would have maybe quit jiu-jitsu.
Well, he can still tell you that if it was a tournament, he would have won.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
No, it was,
Or if it was to the death, dude.
I've never ate my own words so bad in front of so many people. I was like, God damn it, Vic.
I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it, even if it was happening.
It was good.
All right. Well, we've referenced the "be brave or be a slave" comment a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to at least tell this story.
First of all, let's start off. You're definitely shadow banned. 100%. Dude, me and Lappin,
you couldn't find it.
Me and Lappin, for 10 minutes, I'm trying to refresh the comments and it say loading comments, right? And then when he tried to do it, same thing. So I screenshotted, like did a little screen video of me trying to hit, like load more comments so I could see you and this guy going at it. It wouldn't let me see it.
The IG got you.
The IG got me. Bro, anytime I bring up political stuff, if it's anti-Biden, anti-COVID mask bullshit, my followers start dropping.
It's crazy.
And so I've always wondered, like,
it's the bots.
Are people following me that see me trash Biden and then go like, oh, fuck this guy, unfollow?
Dude, I don't know.
I don't think so.
There's no fucking way. Because we do it all the time.
Dude.
There's no fucking way.
So anyways, I was reading Mikey and the Dragons, which is a Jocko book.
Great book.
To my 5-year-old wants to read Mikey and the Dragons all the time. And so there's a page that says, and Mikey is just this scared little kid that is afraid of everything. And
like Rob.
No, like Rob. And the end of this paragraph says, how could he ever stand up and be brave, or would being afraid always make him a slave? Ooh, and I was like, dude, that's just such a good fucking little phrase. Like, that's something that's good for adults to hear, right? Like, dude.
And this is a kid's book.
This is a kid's book, right? But it's like, dude, so many people are living in fear right now. And that's what I said. So many people are living in fear. They're living in fear of the virus. They're living in fear of their government. And this is a good book that even if you're an adult, you should probably fucking read it, right? And this guy responds to me and goes, it's fucking morons like you that make America the laughing stock it is. And I'm like, God, dude. So I look at him and he looks like someone that would say this.
For sure.
You know? But his account's private. All the guys that talk shit always have private accounts.
It's always private.
But I've always been like, take the Joe Rogan approach. Like, I'm not going to engage with haters, right? And Andy Stump, when I was out there the first time, he told me that too. He's like, don't engage with the haters. But then last time I went out there, Andy's like, well, people can take it to a level where I do say, I'm easy to find.
Yeah.
And if you want to find me, let's get it on, or something like that. Yep. And I was like, okay, well,
that's a terrifying comment.
Yeah, right. And so then Mitch Aguiar came out and hung out with me for a weekend on New Year's, and he told me stories. He's like, you know what? If people they reach a point where if they're too disrespectful, fuck you, let's go. Yep. And he goes, I've had people take me up on it, and I fucked them up. And I was like,
oh shit.
All right, so this could be a thing, right? Like, and so my response to him was, his comment again was, it's fucking morons like you that make America the laughing stock it is. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to finally reply to someone on the internet and see what happens. And I replied, I said, I'd say it's guys that only have the courage to act tough and disrespectful through their phones is what makes the country the laughing stock that it is. So then he turns it in. He wants to get into a Facebook fight, right? Or Instagram fight. And he goes, you get mad at me for talking through my phone. But you can get mad at me through talking through my phone all you want, but it's beyond the point that you're an uneducated asshole spreading misinformation all over the internet. So I responded, I am educated. I'm not an asshole. And I'll pay you $500 to speak those words to my face. And then, of course,
That made me so happy to see. I was like, yes.
so then, of course, Mitch fucking gets on, and Mitch goes, "I'll double what Granderson is offering, and I'll fly you out there first class, Cupcake."
Sweeten the deal.
And he said, "All right, it's on." Oh my so I fucking hope it.
Dude.
I'm a 40-year-old man with kids and 2 businesses. I have no business fighting a dude.
What's his username?
His username is T. Tyler Pearson. So 2 T's in Tyler. So
Tyler.
Yeah.
Hope you're on that flight, baby.
Dude, bro, I've had so many people like, "I'll throw 500 on it. I'll throw 500 on it." And so
We'll get you a GoFundMe together.
bro, but then dude, Mitch then replied back to him again. He goes, "Wait, before we do this, I need to know that you're at least 18 years old and a biological male. Neither can be told by your profile pic."
Dude, Mitch is a fucking savage.
So it's like, bro,
Dude.
You know what? If you want to come out and actually be disrespectful to somebody's face, and you will get double-legged and you will get your fucking head split open.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I'm not the toughest dude in the world, but I've never had somebody call me a disrespectful asshole to my face unless we're fighting.
Unless we're fighting.
Unless we're fighting, dude.
Those are now words that fists are being thrown. 100%.
And that is, I mean, and I honestly, I've talked about it a lot on the show. I honestly think that's part of our societal problems is that people are in this bubble where they constantly feel protected to a point where they're disrespecting each other.
Yeah, right.
Bro, if you disrespected something like that in fucking medieval fucking Europe, what do you think would fucking happen to
feudal
you?
Japan. I've been reading a lot about the samurai history, right? There was none of that nonsense. You're not going up to samurai and being like, "You're an asshole." Like, get the fuck
dude,
out of
like
here.
if you're going to fucking disrespect another human being, you got to be able to back it up.
Yeah. Well,
Or you just don't do it. The solution is overwhelmingly simple. Okay. If 500 years ago I lived in some fucking tribe out in fucking
Ohio,
Iceland, no, and Brock Lesnar was the fucking tribal leader, I probably wouldn't say, "That fucking tattoo on your chest looks like a dick." You know what I'm saying? Because
he would never say that. It would never exist.
He'd fucking take my wives and fucking pull my head off my body.
Dude, you know what I'm more curious about is like the psychology behind it. If that's a real kid and he's actually mad at you, was it just now he's taking the opportunity, or what the fuck was wrong with that kid's book that made him want to say that? Like, I don't understand it. I can't conceptualize
Bro,
it.
it's the radical left. If you don't fucking just fall in line with what the government is telling you, you're a fucking piece of shit, dude.
It's crazy.
Like it's so weird. Like that Rage Against the Machine meme where it's like in the 90s, we were listening to music that said, "Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me." And now it's, "Fuck you, you're not doing what they tell you."
Yeah.
You know, think about that. Because that's the truth, dude. Like, we're supposed to be defiant by nature. Fuck the government,
Dude, and this is why, I mean, good on you guys for putting on the guns and geese again, like full circle, right? It was so cool. One, becoming friends with you guys and seeing everyone else at the camp, like, oh, there's other people out there that think like me, especially like living in Seattle, bro.
Yeah,
like
dude.
It's Ivan's and like, where else do I go?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm coming up to train with you down south or up with you up north. And it's like, where else do you go? And seeing that there's other Americans out there that think similarly, that just don't want to be fucked with. It was great.
Yeah, Jeff, the guy from Louisiana, I remember like with the first day or something, he was like, "So you guys are from Seattle?"
Yeah,
like,
man.
what the hell's going on up there?
Dude, fucking crazy nonsense.
It's fucking ridiculous, dude, that we have arrived at a point in history where the weakest, most incapable cowards, like none of these people would be willing to fist fight anyone. None of these people would be willing to strap on fucking body armor and a rifle and go fucking play war to the death out on the fucking streets. None of them are willing to do anything that is based in reality or capabilities. They just want to fucking talk shit on their phone. And it all goes back to, we've created this utopia where everybody feels safe. It shouldn't feel safe to tell another human being you're a fucking moron. It shouldn't feel safe.
It shouldn't.
Like, I don't care who
You
it
used to
is.
get punched in high school if you said shit like that.
100%, dude. I
Now
talk
you're
about
going
it all
to
the
jail
time.
if you get in a fist fight. In
I'm
school.
only 40. Like, I don't feel like I should be this fucking geezer giving wisdom to the next generation. I'm not that old. Straight up. I mean, I'm getting a little gray and a little fat. And
We're working on both those.
And my wrists are getting smaller. No, but in all reality, dude, if you said that to someone, it's on.
It's on. Yeah.
And it was like, maybe it's because I grew up in Snohomish and like everyone was a bunch of farm kids. I don't know, but it wasn't that long ago.
I'm 28. Even in Seattle, I saw so many fistfights in high school. Right. And the fact that that's changed it's crazy.
Very recent. It's a recent,
super
change.
recent.
Everybody's afraid of violence.
Dude,
or it's, you know what it probably is? I mean, I don't know if this is fucking conspiracy or not, but it's like, if you punish everybody for being violent as a 12, 13, 14-year-old, you never grow into a violent, capable adult.
Right.
Like fighting all the time as a kid is what laid the foundation for me to go be a ranger.
Mm-hmm.
And then me to be a fucking competent dad that can protect my kids.
Yep.
Me to be someone that can seek out training to then be better. If that fucking like fire inside of you to be violent as a 14-year-old boy is just fucking stamped out,
dude, sad.
you're probably just going to fucking continue the fucking path to be a bitch your whole life.
Dude, you want to know one of my favorite moments of camp, complete deviation? When we did that first big gathering Thursday night, we're getting to know everyone. And Mike's like, yeah, I've grappled for a little bit. He shows up the next day with a black belt and you're like, yeah, you're a fucking savage, dude.
Bro, everybody wants...
You never know.
That's what's cool about surrounding yourself with people that have humility. Like, bro, we're going to live the next 3 days together. Everybody's going to know where everybody stands.
Yep.
Everyone is going to know who the strongest shooter is, who the weakest shooter is, who the good grapplers are, and who the noobs are. We don't need to posture or pretend or fucking give a fucking I love me speech at the beginning.
That's an aspect that hopefully those guys who stick with jiu-jitsu will get to, right? Because they'll learn like, oh, you can be exactly who you are and who you want to be. And you don't have to fucking give in for anyone or anything because you're a confident man and you know how to defend yourself.
Yeah, dude.
It's powerful. That shit changed my life.
Yeah, you know, it was tough for the AAR. I was thinking, you know, like there are some little things that you could tweak with the time and stuff like that, but like overall, man, dude. I mean, it's hard to say it, but like sometimes there's no changes needed.
Yeah, and we had a lot of people say that. Or like, just do more what you did.
Dude, because the other side of that, if you do shorten it by an hour, and then are you making it a little too soft, right? Or, you know, you change these things, and hey, these guys who are showing up, everyone made it through.
Yeah.
And then, just like you guys told everyone in the beginning, hey, we're going to smoke you guys, and this is how it's going to be.
It's going to be a long weekend.
I think everyone liked it, because granted, I was hungover one day. I did not like it that day.
I told you I could do that 365 days
a year.
Yeah. Tell me to get your gun in the morning, go shoot it, get your gi on, go do jiu-jitsu at night. I could do that all
like,
day.
What was his name? The blue belt wrestler.
Matt.
Yep.
He was legit.
He was good.
On day one, he came up to me on the range and he's like, hey, you know, like you guys said, show up in shape. Since I signed up for Guns and Geese, I'm down 30 pounds.
Dude, he told me that shit. Yeah.
And it's like, bro, he started getting accountability from the program before he did the program.
Dude.
You know? And that's fucking what's cool about it.
So fucking cool.
And I didn't know like that guy's story. And then when I saw him on the mats, I'm like, oh, you're a fucking monster, dude. Blue belt.
Dude, he's a fucking blue belt. Him and I rolled. I was like, God damn it. He's one of those. I got to give my all right now. And I was tired.
Yeah.
From Michigan wrestling since he was 6.
That's exactly
dude,
right,
Michigan wrestler. You're like, okay, grappler. Like,
I always tell people, you can call it jiu-jitsu. You can call it judo. You can call it wrestling. You can call it sambo. Mm-hmm. If you put time on the mats grabbing other human beings, that's it. That's all that matters.
You're a grappler.
You can call it whatever the fuck you want.
Yep.
You know,
dude, that was epic. That first night. Note to self: don't drink a half gallon of whiskey with you three before the day of shooting.
Yeah, I felt like I was trying to play catch up with like water and sleep the whole weekend, man.
Bro, and I was like, I knew we were having a long day, so I'm not fucking pounding whiskey like you guys are. I'm just hanging out, enjoying a little whiskey. You had to just be like, hey. Is that the same glass you've had for the last hour? Yeah, it is, motherfucker.
Dude, that's what me and Rob did.
All this way for you to drink that one glass.
At that moment, he knew we were going to be friends. It's like, no, we're hanging out. It's going to be good. Dude, that was a fucking crazy night. Yeah, I bitched out on that next day in jiu-jitsu. I had to go nap it off for an hour, come back,
and then you came back.
Hell yeah.
And we're getting after it.
Yeah.
No, that was funny. So like, yeah, Vic went out into the car and had to take a nap because he's hungover. And so we had a police officer go out there and tap on the window. We'll tell the story.
Dude, well, so I was completely out. I set my alarm to like 30 minutes. they were going off. It was an hour and 15 minutes, right? I get this bang on the door. I'm like, oh, someone's waking me up. Cool. I'll just get up real quick, go train. I thought it was one of my friends. Oh shit, it's a cop. I'm like, okay, like whatever. Like I'm kind of getting up and I open the door. He's like, hey, like we got a complaint, and I go to get out of the car, right? And I was like, they're probably fucking with me right now. I'm at a jiu-jitsu thing, right? No other cars around here. Well, I go to get out and he gets hella serious, like, don't get out of the car, and puts his hand like on my chest. I was like, oh fuck, dude, I was just like starting to sleep, or like I don't know, like, and he looks at, and again, I'm still hungover. I had a little rest, and he looks at me, he's like, so we got a call about someone masturbating in the car. And I was like, please motherfuck you. and then finally I'm coming out of my days of sleep, right? And I look at his ears, he's got fucking cauliflower. I was like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, no, I trained with Greg. Like, so they got me. It was good.
You deserve that.
Oh, 100%.
Just like Greg's gonna deserve it when we hold him down and shave his head.
I know,
Oh, dude, that fucking hair needs to go.
bro, I know. I understand, okay? But sometimes determination and perseverance pays off.
Yeah. I'm gonna get Daniel and Craig and Mike on board. We're gonna pin you down and shave it.
I told my wife that, and because she wants it fucking gone too, right?
She's not wrong.
No.
I'm gonna bring the clippers tonight.
Bro, and she goes, don't let them shave it. I said, the word let when you're dealing with 5 savages is, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
Each one has an arm and a
that's
leg.
open to interpretation. And she goes, well, tell them last time you shaved your head. This is true. I shaved my head like a year ago. I walked downstairs. My 2 youngest daughters started bawling. They're like, you look scary.
Now you have the opportunity to cut it yourself before we do it. Dude, we did that one time at Ivan's.
Been warned.
Dude, we did that at Ivan's. This dude would not cut his fucking hair. And I mean, it's so long. And,
right?
And wouldn't tie it up. So we're like, hey, we're warning you. We're warning you. They had done it to a guy with his mustache in the past, right? Before I showed up at the gym. So me and Ivan were warning him, hey, man, we're going to pin you down and cut it. So one day I was like, today's the day. I was like, roger that. So me, my brother, and Ivan were standing there. Ivan, boom, jumps on his back. I get his legs, we pin him. And he just, I mean, this dude had down his waist hair, right? Like, cut your fucking hair, and goes to cut it. He's like, we could have got you, and slaps him in the face, right? Doesn't do it. He's training now with like a swimming cap and headgear. Like that hair does not touch our face.
I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
Well, in the scrap I got in the night before my brother's wedding, dude had long hair, and I just grabbed him, boom, boom, right? Like, dude.
So it's a tactical disadvantage.
You're at a very tactical disadvantage right now.
Once you sent me that William Wallace picture, I was like, oh, that's what he's going for.
Bro, I told you, when I was fucking 14 and I watched Braveheart, my whole life changed. Like, I want to fucking live a life of being a warrior and killing motherfuckers and being defiant as fuck and doing whatever I want.
Hell yeah.
How many young men did that movie do?
I think all of them, dude. If you watched it and you didn't feel that, you're not a young man. You're a young woman.
Yeah.
No,
Dude,
bro.
that's awesome.
And like, I still watch that. Like, if I fucking put Braveheart on and that fucking scene where that dude slits his wife's throat against the post, like, I feel a fire inside of me. It's like, oh, I want to kill motherfuckers, dude.
I feel this when I watch The Patriot.
Yeah,
that's the same thing. Yeah,
Bro.
I'm just like, oh, I get fired up.
And that's why anybody that ever says, even fucking makes a fucking hint of a statement that fucking, oh, Mel Gibson, I'll fight you to the death, dude. I consider Mel Gibson my third parent. My first parents were my parents actual.
Hey, you notice he
my
has
second
short hair
parents
right now.
was Pantera. And then Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Mel Gibson has short hair right now, just so you're aware.
Hey, if you guys pin me down and cut it,
Yeah, I'm gonna text Novak tonight.
it'd be
Yo,
a good,
be at the gym.
it'd be a good story.
Be at the gym. I'm glad we're friends now because I did that before we crossed that line. I get fucked.
Well, you know,
up.
all he has to do is get one hard. He only needs one swoop, and then you'll have like.
Oh, it's
bald
done.
spot.
It's done
No,
after
but
that.
that wouldn't be a fun story. We got to pin him down. We got to
Once
get
you have the
everyone on
bald
board.
spot, you can be like, here, bro, here's the clippers. What, you can leave it the
It's
way
gonna
it
be
is.
me, my brother, Daniel, Mike, Craig. I'm like, hey guys, we're gonna get him a corner.
Bro, all I'd have to say to Daniel is,
Take him to a
Daniel,
dark
if you do
closet.
this, if you partake in this, there will be consequences. He'd be like, oh, damn it. fuck, Greg told me.
I know he would. Dude, that guy's a fucking savage. Yeah,
He is, dude.
They're gonna take you to a dark closet like Jaws.
You know, it's funny. I had a police officer up there that trained with us. That he wanted to use Daniel in like use of force scenarios because he's like, bro, it would take the whole shift. It would take 6 cops to control this guy.
100%.
But when you see him walking down the street, you'd think, I'll do whatever I want to this guy. just because, I mean, he's big. He's like,
but his
he's
demeanor,
205,
he's a
but his
soft-spoken
demeanor
guy.
is just, dude, I'm chill.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, I want cops to realize like a dude that looks like this, that you think you'll just fucking walk up and do whatever you want to, would take 6 of you.
Yeah. Rob, you'd get along with him. He gets down. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, he gets down, dude.
Does he compete?
No, dude, he doesn't, that's not his thing, man.
Dude, he's a mat warrior, dude, just like super chill. And then the minute that bell goes, it's like, it's fucking on. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude.
So,
is there anyone that you've ever wanted to train with that you haven't been able to?
That's a good question.
Dude. Like, we're all about jujitsu. I love checking out new gyms, professors, and just learning different stuff.
the guy that I'm kind of on a kick right now, and people either love him or hate him, but I'm on the love side of it, is Danaher.
Yeah.
He fucking talks and talks and talks, and he breaks things down to a level that like exhausts some people. But I look at it as the proof is in the pudding.
Right.
His guys are the best in the world right now. So why is that?
Without question.
And so I bought some of his stuff, and
Oh, I see you're trying to up that no-gi game, huh?
I think it might be gi stuff. Yeah, it's gi stuff.
You're never going to give in again.
No, but I mean, he does. He breaks things down at a level that can kind of be exhausting sometimes.
Yeah.
But bro, that's what makes him so good too. And so it's like listening to this fucking professor go on for 40 minutes about the top lock position.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? But there's something to it too. When Gordon Ryan is telling the best guys in the world, tonight I'm going to triangle from the top side.
Dude.
And then he does it. Tonight I'm going to armbar you at the 2-minute mark or whatever. He's doing the fucking Conor McGregor shit.
Dude.
You know?
Insane.
Crazy, man.
It's cool to be a part of this era of jujitsu, right? Like where it's really becoming mainstream and it's blowing up. Like, damn, the Michael Jordan of our era, and we're in it.
Yep.
You know, that dude's savage.
And so, yeah, bro. And the interesting thing is Danaher, like his guys are open. Like, yes, he's 56 now or something, and I'm 25. So when we roll, it's a 25-year-old rolling with a 56-year-old. Right. But if we were both 25 years old, I wouldn't be able to do anything to him.
It's crazy, man.
That's so crazy.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
It's like, it's just a different
You
fucking
look at
level.
his-
There's black belts and then there's black belches.
Yeah, you look at his stable of guys. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying.
Even, you know, Nicky Rod, Gary Tonin, even the Ethan Krelliston is.
Yeah, one of his. I
Yeah,
forget his last name.
they're. I mean, he just has a ton of guys.
Yeah, I'm so on a John Danaher kick right now. That's legit. And that's the one to be on.
That's the one, man.
to be on right now.
You know?
Yeah.
And like I've been part of teams, and I'm part of Checkmat. Right. And Checkmat's big thing was like getting in the fucking grind, grinding, because they're a very competition focused team. And to be a good competitor, the grind is what gets you there, right?
Yeah.
And I loved being part of that. And so like I really tried to take that mentality to my academy, and we got a lot of tough dudes as a result. But that's kind of the other side of things, is like, instead of just grinding, dude, look at it from like an intellectual perspective and really break things down, slow things down. And so I think it's a good place to kind of take my energy, obviously, because I'm an old man now. Yeah. And my toe hurts.
Who can still whoop me, which
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. You fucking ass got on my back one time and it haunted me. So
yeah. Dude, no, I love that mentality when I came up and you're like, no. You were talking to people before we were like, hey, we're putting on, we're all start standing, and we're getting the fuck after it. And I was like, oh, this feels like home. Yeah. We're going to get some.
It was really interesting too to hear that you guys are, because you guys are obviously from the Checkmat lineage, which me and Vic are, you know, Carlson Gracie lineage, but the foundations and all the things that you guys believe are the same.
It's all
start from the feet, wrestle, be very physical.
Bro, I don't know. I mean, I have theory on it. Like mainstream jiu-jitsu got away from that, and they say it's for safety, but I think it's because of laziness. I think an academy that starts on their butt and keeps it playful, it attracts more business, because a lot of people don't want those death rounds like we talked about earlier. But I think the right thing to do is sell real jiu-jitsu. Real jiu-jitsu starts on your feet.
Right.
In any situation, if you're competing, if some dude breaks into your house, if you're a woman that's getting grabbed at a party, no matter what the situation where you may be using your jiu-jitsu, it starts on your fucking feet.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing anyone any favors by allowing our students to fucking butt scoot towards each other, right? And I think that's important. And it shouldn't, if you do it properly, you're not scaring people away. And I have also, and fuck, I should knock on wood saying this, but I don't see takedown game increasing injuries in the gym any more than the rest of the grappling.
Any more than going for armbar trying to
That's
break
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like can you get hurt on takedowns? Yes, but you can get hurt at any aspect of jiu-jitsu. And so I always feel like people that say it's to prevent injury. No, it's because
you're not practicing wrestling. You're not practicing things, so you know how to fall. You know the realm of wrestling. It's just like, oh, you're avoiding it.
You're avoiding it, right? Yeah. And then the other side of it is like, you can teach, like Joao taught it last week, like get the Y-frame on the back of the neck, drive the head down and sprawl on them, right? Yeah. You can teach takedown defense, but unless you're actually doing it, it's not going to translate over. Mm-hmm. And so I'm hard to take down because every single practice I start on my feet. And so even if you didn't grow up wrestling, inside of 3 years, you got 500 rounds logged of somebody trying to take you down, and dudes that are trained trying to take you down. Yep. Good luck some fucking idiot on the street trying to take you down. It's just not going to work.
Dude, the funniest shit. I mean, my brother double-legged someone who deserved it and didn't, in the streets, right? Didn't meet any resistance. So, you know, when you train with people, you're ready to like, boom, you double leg, you hit a wall. And like, where's the fight going from here?
Yeah.
He double legs this dude. The most beautiful thing I've ever seen, right?
Took him to the next county.
Dude, he literally started running with the dude on his shoulder. And I was like, bro, where are you going? I'm like chasing after him because it was like up the stairs. Boom, he goes, and just starts running. No resistance. So yeah, wrestling works.
That's fucking rad, dude.
Imagine Josh, little Josh,
dude,
with
just
the dude
getting
on his
after
arms.
it. Yeah,
love it.
Dude, I see Jordan do that to people all the time. But Jordan has a good heart, so he fucking slams people, and
nicely.
Now they're in the air on his shoulder. And you see him like, okay, where am I gonna put this guy down and how?
Yep. Yeah.
But you know, if that was real world, you would die.
Dude, it's so funny. I randomly ran into Jordan at your academy. I show up, I was like, what the fuck are you doing here, dude? Like he wrestled with Ivans and fought like for years, right? And him and I have had some, I mean, he used to fuck me up in wrestling because I just started at the time. I was like, you're gonna be a good fit here.
So you're saying now you fuck him up?
No. Didn't say that.
Okay,
Didn't say that. But my wrestling's gotten better because of him. Let's put it that way. Yeah, he's legit. Dude, so what's next after, you know, you have the second Guns and Geese scheduled, right? Are you guys already planning 3, 4? I mean, how far out are you guys looking?
3, nothing past the second one is on the books yet. We're also, I mean, we bought the property for Guns and Geese Pacific Northwest, but there's red tape. We have to build the range.
Got to build a driveway.
The driveway's there.
Oh, it is.
But we have to gain legal access to it because there's just some loopholes that we have to go through. So I'm not going to put a timeline on that because you know how, I mean, you fucking own a construction company.
Yeah.
So you know how red tape works.
Everything's red tape.
When I built my gym, I was anticipating it taking 2 to 3 months and it took 9.
Yep.
Because of this and the wetland and archaeological survey and
dude, it's fucking bullshit, all of it.
And so I don't know how long it's going to take.
Yeah,
I can tell people we will run camp in Seattle at some point, but as of now, the camp is going to continue in New Orleans. People are asking me, take it on the road. I'm hearing that a lot.
It's a lot to take on the road.
I think it's too much.
Gym,
because you have to own a range and you have to own a gym. Those 2 things have to be part of it.
And just so people know, flights right now are fucking cheap, right? Like it costs us $150 round trip to fly from Seattle to Louisiana.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So like, if you want to go to this, you can make it happen or just save a little more and make it happen. It's worth it.
And the thing is, it's like we could potentially take it on the road, but even if, because I had a guy say, well, I own a gym, dude. So all we'd have to find is a range. Well, you own your gym.
Right.
Like it being your own, like your wife can be there. You can have all the fucking apparel set up.
And now he thinks he's a part of it, right? He's kind of running something and it just has a weird dynamic.
I don't know if it would be necessarily a bad thing, but it's not the dynamic that you have when you're in control of how everything's playing out.
Right.
And then if it's not your range, are there other people out there or do you have to rent it? If we go over by a half an hour or other people waiting?
It just gets weird. Well, and when you already have it so good, you have Greg's gym, which is fucking awesome gym, dude. Those mats, the way it's set up, legit. And then he
wants to tear that half wall down. I told him don't do it.
No, keep it.
I like it.
Yeah, the half wall's great. Yeah, dude.
And you hear that lapping? Keep it.
Keep that shit. Dude. And
tear down the wall to the karate place next door.
Well, that's what he needs to do.
That's the plan. Yeah.
He wants to.
Dude, and then it's his range. So it's like, there's
and then the other thing is cadre. Like he had like 5 or 6 firearms instructors out there because he's a fucking firearms instructor and he works with those guys all the time. I mean, that's such a concern to the point where we said we're probably going to fly out a few of those guys for Guns and Geese Seattle.
Right.
Because I have lots of friends that were in battalion with me that are good at firearms, good at shooting.
But they're not Greg's people.
They're not instructors. They're not cadre that do that day in and day out. Right. That's a different thing. So anywhere you travel, you'd have to take certain people on the road because people don't realize, like when you have 30 people on a range, if you had 2 instructors, that's not going to work. Like the student to instructor ratio needs to be.
That's why you need a kick-ass brown belt on the mat.
That's right. But it needs to be to the point where people feel like, okay, I'm at least they're observing what I'm doing. I'm having corrections made and I have someone that I can ask questions to. Yep. Right.
I mean, for being on the line with all those shooters, I felt safe. Right.
Yeah.
I think I know how to handle my firearm in a safe way. Again, I'm a white belt shooter, but I was like, cool. But I felt safe with really brand new guys standing on left and right of me because of the cadre that was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
And so I think with all those things considered, it only makes sense to run it at places where we have control of everything.
100%.
You
Yeah.
know?
Dude, that's awesome. I'm glad to see that you guys got the second one scheduled so fast.
Yeah.
That made me happy. Dude, it was legit. Super legit.
Build on that momentum, man.
Yeah.
Build on that momentum.
And that's what we're hoping, man. Like this could turn into, I mean, who knows? Sky's the limit, right?
Yep.
All we know is we ran one and everybody loved it. So what else do you need?
Class 001.
Plank holders.
001. That's right, dude.
Hell yeah, man.
When we go public and become billionaires, everybody that class 001 should get a share of the company.
There you go. I agree.
I ain't complaining.
I agree.
All right. Well, we're at 2 hours and 40 minutes. And we're going to wrap this up. Before we go.
Damn, time flies when you're having fun.
I know.
Holy shit.
Every time I do this, I like to have a fucking opportunity to give out just some swag from our sponsors. So here's some cured CBD. I don't know if you guys like CBD or not.
Dude, I have jars. I need what you need.
And a few Paleo Valley beef sticks.
My brother, thank you so
There's
much.
an odd number, and
he needs it.
He needs it more than you.
Look
So some Endless Endeavor stickers. And then this is the newest sponsor, Element, but it's LMNT is how they fucking spell it, and it's a rehydration drink. And so check
we're
it
gonna
out.
Give that a shot. Give you some good feedback.
Hey, real quick. I just want to tell Greg. I've been listening to you for a long time, man. I respect the hell out of you.
He wants to make out with you now.
Yeah, no, not now, later.
We can get down.
Dark closet.
But yeah, man, I respect the hell out of you. I appreciate your message, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, and that's what's cool about this platform is I mean, a lot of people hate what I'm fucking putting out.
Fuck them.
But I don't give a shit because what it's doing is it's building a network of like-minded people.
Yep.
And because of what we're doing right now, other people are going to hear this. Other people are going to want to train jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Other people might come to the camp, and then the tribe gets a little bigger day by day by day.
Build the army.
You know?
Yeah,
and
dude.
It's cool to see it actually fucking happening.
Was it surprising when your membership of your gym started growing when you started doing the podcast, when you spoke out? I mean, did any of that surprise you?
Everything surprises me.
Yeah.
Even now, dude. Like, I mean, it hasn't even been a year yet. It hasn't even been a year since the video was posted.
When did you post it? Oh, it was May 5th.
Oh, it was May 5th. And I mean, you know how Facebook memories come up. I got quarantined already last year for an exposure. Like the bullshit was all starting a year ago.
Right.
And then I just got too fed up to the point where I was like, I got to fucking speak out. And then Andy Stump got a hold of me and Mike Glover and the podcast, the gym blew up. And it made me realize it's like an important life lesson is, dude, you got to be you.
Yeah.
You got to be authentic to what you believe. And if you are, what you're going to find is the like-minded people are going to rally around you and things are going to work out. Yeah. Because I know so many people that believe the same things and want to push the same message, but they're all being controlled by their paycheck.
Dude,
it keeps people in a state where they don't feel like they have the opportunity to be themselves. And it's like, this is your one life, dude.
Yep.
It was crazy, man. That message is powerful. When my girlfriend's parents who live in Orange County, when I was like, I'm going to go train with that cop that spoke out. And they're like, I know who that is. I saw that video like 10 times. I was like, that's how you know it's a good message. So yeah,
keep
doing that. Call the tribe, brother. It's awesome.
Fucking bizarre, but it's it's how our world works now. It's how we fucking disseminate information and how we communicate with each other. And it's cool to see that we can fucking continue this message by just sitting down and talking for 2 hours and 43 minutes. And a bunch of people are going to hear this. And like I always tell people, if fucking one person out there listens to episode, I think this is going to be 42, and take something away from it, that was worth our time.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Those are worth our time.
We are out there.
That's right. Dude.
Yeah, we're out there.
And I mean, I read that like little testimonial on the episode with Greg where a guy listened to the podcast and he was depressed and he went and signed up, started training jiu-jitsu. And in 2 weeks, he's like, I feel like a new man. Like,
yeah, dude.
This shit happens. And so, yeah, Rob, that's a good way to put it. We are out there. The right people are out there.
Hell yeah.
Go train, go shoot, live your life.
And find your fucking tribe, dude.
Fuck yeah.
All right. That's a good note to end it on.
Hell
guys.
yeah, brother.
Love you guys.
All right.